for LA County.
The Eaton fire remains estimated at 14,117 acres with 55% containment. Over 7,000 structures are damaged or destroyed.
Hundreds of firefighters from across the country have deployed to assist in the firefight. Connecticut getting ready to do its part for the presidential inauguration. Here's WTIC's Morgan Cunningham.
Connecticut's getting ready for the presidential inauguration in D.C. Over 200 members of the Connecticut National Guard and over 35 personnel from state police are being deployed to support security efforts in D.C. Governor Lamont says the deployments are coming at the request of the U.S. Department of Defense and the Metropolitan Police Department in D.C. The Guard members are already there and leave next Thursday. State police arrive Sunday and will then follow orders from U.S. Marshals. Governor Lamont says that they'll work to ensure inauguration activities move forward safely and securely. Morgan Cunningham, WTIC 1080 News.
Filmmaker David Lynch has died. He was the man behind TV's Twin Peaks in the 90s and Blue Velvet, among other motion pictures. Film critic Leonard Moulton.
You couldn't mistake a David Lynch film for anybody else's. His work had his fingerprints all over it.
His ish was weird.
That's part of what made him special and will always make his films unique.
David Lynch was 78. WTIC News Time, 3:04. Checking traffic. Still some leftover road work out there. Rocky Hill, southbound 91 between exits 24 and 22S. Expect various lane closures there, and they should be wrapping that up within the next few minutes or so. 84 East, the 23 off-ramp is closed in actually the shoulder there is closed. That's in Waterbury. Down in Meriden, 15 South from 67S to 63. Right shoulder work there. And we're also looking at some leftover work in Windsor Locks, Route 20 westbound, heading toward East Granby. They'll be out there for another few minutes or so within the right lane. Here's meteorologist Jason Catarina with the forecast.
For the rest of our Thursday afternoon, mostly cloudy, the high of 34. A couple of evening flurries, otherwise becoming clear. It'll be cold, the low down to 22. And sunny to partly cloudy for Friday, not as cold as it's been, the high of 41. Friday night, partly cloudy, cold, the low down to 26. Now Saturday, cloudy and breezy. We'll get a bit of snow and rain at times in the afternoon. Little or no accumulation, but a damp, raw, and chilly feeling day. The high 44 will feel a lot cooler with a strong south-southwest wind all day. Saturday night, a little accumulation of snow and rain early in the evening, otherwise cloudy and cold, the low 28. Some sun, then turning cloudy Sunday, the high 36. Monday, mostly sunny, breezy, and notably colder. The high only 23 will feel like single digits and teens at times with the strong northwest winds. Then frigid with lots of sun on Tuesday, the high only 17. I'm meteorologist Jason Catarina in the WTIC Weather Center.
And it's currently 32 right now in Hartford. On Wall Street, the Dow is down 35. The NASDAQ is down 50, and the S&P is up 3 points. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-250-7807. 800-250-7807. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-250-7807.
Men, it's the new year. And
1 minute.
time of deciding to make positive changes in our lives. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health.
And if you're suffering with erectile dysfunction and are tired of the frustration and embarrassment ED causes, you should call Northeast Men's Health today, because there probably isn't a better resolution you can make than to be done with ED. You see, ED doesn't just affect you. It can also affect your partner, even if they don't talk about it. But here's some great news. If you're like most guys, the treatments at Northeast Men's Health will give you back your sex life, because our protocols have success rates that work in well over 90% of cases. Seriously, you might
Michael
even
B,
find
what's
you're
up,
performing
baby?
like you haven't in years. So make an appointment and get ED out of your life. Your initial visit
Stop
is
making
just
trouble
$99
online.
and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5955. NortheastMen'sHealth.com. We have 5 offices: Salem, New Hampshire; Dedham; Marlborough; Woburn; Farmington, Connecticut. Northeast Men's Health, a Promedic restorative health practice.
Reese on the radio, making sense of the news. Yeah, even when it makes no sense at all. Now on WTIC, News Talk 1080.
What's wrong with being an angry prophet denouncing the hypocrisies of our times?
Do you want to be an angry prophet denouncing the hypocrisies of our times?
Yeah, I think I'd like to be an angry prophet denouncing the hypocrisies of our times.
Then grab it, grab it.
What's going on, all you scallywags out there? It is time for Reese on the radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC. You're going to have to join us online, folks, because unfortunately the phone lines are down. I would normally, what would I play? I would play, there it is. I am so sorry, but there's no need to give the number, even though it's 860-522-WTIC. We don't have any phone lines today, but that's the reason why you need to go online and go to researchradio.com so you can watch the show online if you can. And listen, if you can't watch it because you're driving, you can go to the Odyssey app, of course. You can listen there. And but if you want to opine on the show, you can do it at Rumble. You can do it at Facebook. You can do it at Twitter or X, for that matter. You can even do it on Twitch and YouTube. The last 3 I rarely ever promote. It's for the kids. I don't know, but I'm too kind of old for that. But it was available, so what the heck? Maybe they'll catch the show, and some people have. You could do that as well. Remember, I promised you that during today's show, I was going to be showing you something from a long time ago. I don't have to talk about it, but in order for you to get it, you're going to have to be watching the show. I'll do it I'll start doing it so that you can see it. It'll pop right up here on the screen. In and around 3:35, 4:35, and the 5:35 breaks so that you can see it for yourself. And if you miss it, you can go back and watch the show thereafter. In fact, I believe that if you go to Rumble, you can live rewind. It's one of the only sites where you can do it. Any place else where you're live, you can't live rewind. But on Rumble, you can if you miss it. We got plenty of news and plenty of views to get into today. Don't forget to give us a call at 202-735-1288. That is 202-735-1288. I got to get that in my head. If you want to air your grievance tomorrow, because do not forget that tomorrow is the all-important airing of grievances on the show. And I, of course, don't have my audio ready. I will do that in a second. So let me start off by saying we're kind of going to do it differently. Even though you can't call in. I want you to send me your emails. I want you to go on the chat rooms, whatever it is you can. I want you to find something nice to say about the leaving, departing, I can't wait till he's gone, President Joe Biden. I want you to say something nice, because we're not going to have a 5 o'clock focus. But I want you to find a way to say something nice, and I will read it in the chat room if you want to give it. Or if you send it in an email, I'll get an alert to that. If you want to send it to Reese on the radio, you can send your comments right there. Just say, I would like to tell Joe Biden, and be nice. I believe that we can find a way to say something nice, because I am going to be sending a special message to all of the people in 2020 who were on my podcast, who called in and left messages on my Facebook instant message, called me on the phone, even my own mother, who was chuckling about the administration of Joe Biden. I've got a special message for all of them that I'm going to be posting tomorrow. So you'll all get to see that. And it'll sound a little bit like this. Let me give you a preview. Ladies and gentlemen of 2020, those of you who were running around calling yourselves the Riding with Biden crowd, you remember, I'm riding with Biden. You were putting it all over your cars. It was your bumper sticker. Oh, you would send it to a message or two here, text it to me in a picture with you grinning and smiling and whatever with your Joe Biden action figure. Yeah, they had them out there. You were so happy in 2020. And I was one of the first people. Remember, even though I was not a fan of the 2020 election by any means, when I say, you know, what were the shenanigans? Yes, I believe there were. Do I believe there was some cheating going on? Yeah, you damn right. Some people told me if you're not cheating, you're not trying. But I told everyone, I was one of the first to say, move on. Stop fighting. No more discussions about a recount. No more discussions about getting people to follow the letter of the law or get your just due. No due process. Forget about it. Let it go. Let them have this one. It's okay. They're going to fail miserably. Everyone here knows it. Even my liberal friends who shyly listen to this program. You know it. It's on tape. So I don't have to lie to you. It is well documented that I was one of the first, if not the first, that said, let it go. They've got it. We'll be back. It was a long 4 years, but by year number 1, it was I who changed the phrase, riding with Biden, to hiding from Biden. After 2021, you couldn't find a Biden fan that was screaming about him the year before. Not one. All of those people who were chinning and grinning, screaming and hollering about Joe Biden. We finally beat the beast. We slayed the dragon. Oh, baby. After it was all over, a year in, inflation rising, gas prices rising, when people started comparing Joe Biden's first year to 1970, to the oil crisis of Jimmy Carter, they started comparing Joe Biden to Jimmy Carter in 2021, by December of 2021. We were in a full year into his administration. And I said, where is everybody? Where the Biden fans? Where'd they go? They wouldn't answer my phone calls. They wouldn't come on my shows. They were eager to be on my show before January 20th of 2020. They were eager. They had January 6th. They had COVID. They had everything. And they were like, Reese, I want to be on your show. Reese, I want to be on your show. Reese, I want to be on your show. A year in, hey, you want to come on my show? Hey, you want to come? Hey, call me back. I was wondering if you want to be on the show. I ain't going to be on your show. Ain't nobody going to be on your show. What do I need to be on your show for? I want to see how you feel a year later. I was wondering if you had buyer's remorse. You know ain't nobody going to go on your show, Reese. You know ain't nobody going to come in there and admit that they was wrong. They ain't never going to do that. But he's gone now. He's going to the sweet by and by. He's laughing himself all the way to the poorhouse. Well, he is. Those days of making money off his campaigns or off his presidency or his role in Washington, those days are over. No foreign dignitary or foreign country is going to hand that man a check. He won't remember it tomorrow. Hey, Joe Biden, here's a check for $8 million. See what you can do for me. I'm sorry, who are you? What do you want me to do with $8? Nobody's going to give this guy anything. Oh, hell, Hunter Biden's going to. Did you hear about this? In the LA fires, Hunter Biden lost what does he say, millions of dollars worth of artwork in the fires? He's got no means of income. Might I suggest a job for you, Hunter? I mean, you're in LA. You do have some experience in this arena. Right now would be a good time because, of course, the lackadaisical way in which they deal with criminals in Los Angeles. Might we sell crack? Just sell some crack, baby. Just sell some hand-to-hand. Yo, what's up, son? I got 3 jumbos. I got 4 jumbos. I got red tops, yellow tops. What are you going to do now? Look at Michael B's already ahead of me. He could be, you're damn right he can. That's all. Listen, it's all a wrap, and we waited patiently 4 years for us to get here. Patiently. We let these people jump out a window for Joe Biden. These supporters, they jumped out a window for Joe Biden to defeat the evil, big, bad Donald Trump and his MAGA or ultra MAGA supporters, only to make Donald Trump more popular than he's ever been before, to make people desperate to get back to Donald Trump. That's how bad it was, and this sits at their feet. So we know that no one's ever going to come on my show. Those people who were just recently, I was filling in for our sister station on WBEN right around the election day. They asked me to come up there in Buffalo and go on the air. And I had a guy who was obviously some sort of like consultant for Democrats who was on the show a couple of weeks ago. But after the election, and by the way, we talked before the election, and I said to him, Kamala Harris is going to lose. This is a joke campaign. There's nothing real about it. He argued with me about it, said, you must be crazy. You must be nuts, blah, blah, blah. After the election, and then it started to come out that it was a joke campaign and the whole thing was bull. I said, hey, you think you want to come on my show? Ain't nobody going to want to come on your show, Reese. No, I got other things to do. I'm sorry. No one wants to come on my show. People are afraid now. And they're getting worse. Have you been watching the congressional hearings? Have you been watching them? I've never seen the Democrats look so silly. This isn't desperation. This is wind out of people's sails. They can't even articulate a smear correctly. I mean, think about look at the damage they did to a Brett Kavanaugh. Look how consistent and concise, precision as they were against Brett Kavanaugh during that Supreme Court confirmation hearing. Look at how precise they were in the way in which they targeted that man. Even though it went, but it looked pretty hazy for a lot of people. And watch them now, scrambling with each other. Look at the people that Donald Trump put in front of them to be confirmed. As every time somebody lobs a grapefruit over the plate, bonk, right out the park. Pam Bondi, Marco Rubio. Pete Hegseth was supposed to be the template for Democrats making it difficult for Trump's nominees to get through. Hegseth came out the gate first and foremost. And now people have stopped talking about him. People have taken him off their headlines because they know it's over. I've got some audio for you today for this Scott Bessent, where he makes these guys look silly. Bernie Sanders, by the way, can we give it up for Bernie Sanders? You big, fat, disgusting sellout. Bernie Sanders. Look, I'm no socialist. I don't even like being I don't even like being associated with socialists. I know a few. They say that they're not, but I know a few. But Bernie Sanders, there was a time where you were formidable. There was a possibility you could have taken this country to the brink of socialism if you hadn't have caved to Hillary Clinton after they cheated you out of the nomination in 2016. And after they cheated you and it was displayed to the entire world that you got duped by them, you turned around and you literally got on your knees and accepted your fate as a washed-up communist. How pathetic. I've got an audio soundbite of you where you're made to look like a clown. Bernie looks like Krusty the Clown from The Simpsons now. I can't even tell you. He looks that bad. There's so much stuff to get into today. But look, I just want you to go into the chat room if you can. If you're listening, and whenever you can, it doesn't matter. Just come in for a minute. Just find something nice to say about the guy. He's gone. He's over. He's elderly. I'm sure we can find something nice to say. If there's one last time where you could do the thing that most Republicans ask you to do, right? Be the better man or better woman and say something nice about the outgoing president. Because now, look, I think, here, let me say it this way. We couldn't be here without Biden if you think about it. If you think about it, Donald Trump, although technically a lame duck president, is far more important to our economy, to our republic, just overall, far more important today than he would have been if he won re-election, if you think about it. In essence, we need the failure. We needed the failure of the Biden administration. We needed the failure of that ideology, DEI, CRT, LGBTQ, strong emphasis on the T. We needed Bud Light. We needed Target. We needed genderqueer. We needed Black Lives Matter. We needed all of those things in order to get here. So at the time when we were mad and we were upset about it, because again, we thought that all was lost, and I was the one who told you to chill, all of that resulted into where we are now. There's a way that we can look at this. Again, it's the silver lining. There's only one way to see the light, and that is when it's darkest. That's just it. Cap 2, thanks for asking. The answer is no, not anymore. So I want you to think about that. And we can all find a way to just say, thank you, Joe. Joe, thank you. Thank you for being absent on the job and allowing your staff, the unelected bureaucrats, take over your job and do unspeakable things to our nation while they gave you all the credit as it sits in your name, as they repeatedly destroyed the country, destroyed the fabric of who we are, pitted us against one another until we got to the day where we got together and got rid of you and your ilk. Thank you for causing companies to establish DEI programs and incorporate CRT and every other nonsensical thing that they did that destroyed the fabric of who they are and had their shareholders lose billions of dollars until they saw the light. Thank you. We needed all of that. It was a rough go with the rest of it, but guess what? Don't forget, I can't forget this. This is an important thing, folks, before we get the break. Look at all of the pro-conservative businesses that came out of it that are flourishing today. We got Elon Musk in all of this, didn't we? We'll take a break. We got more news, more views, and audio sound bites to boot. When we return, it's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck, and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment, coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Get a head start to your day with WTIC News Talk 1080. Listen to us live on the Odyssey app before you even hit the road. Get the breakdown on the biggest news stories that Connecticut is talking about. To get started, download the Odyssey app and search for WTIC News Talk 1080.
Trust and Will knows that we'll all eventually need a will. How about right now? Trust and Will makes creating your will easy, like while you're lounging on the couch easy. Trust and Will is designed by attorneys but customized by you, and all documents are state-specific and secure. Find your plan at trustandwill.com and use offer code RADIO now for 10% off. That's trustandwill.com, offer code RADIO. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. Visit trustandwill.com for details.
If you want jazz music, go to New Orleans. Bagels, New York. And for psychics, think California Psychics. You want the best, you go to the best. At California Psychics, home of free spirits and open minds, we know better than anyone what makes a good psychic. That's why we guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
And now, a WTIC News Update.
3:30, good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Been a bit of a snag in that ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says complications from the terror group have postponed a vote by his cabinet until Hamas backs down. A former Stratford High School teacher has been arrested for running an internet scam using school computers. James O'Neill faces forgery and other charges. Police say he was altering bills of sale in attempts to sell autos on Facebook. A woman's under arrest in East Hartford, accused of embezzling from her former place of employment. Police say Brandy Kaiser stole $142,000 from a Kia dealership to pay personal expenses. Police in Woodbridge are warning of mail thefts. They say there's been a rash of such thefts of business and personal checks from mailboxes. They're advising not leaving outgoing mail in your box and mail personal and business checks inside the post office. Units of the Connecticut National Guard and the state police will be deployed to support the presidential inauguration security detail on Monday. Governor Lamont says the deployments are coming at the request of the Defense Department and the Metro Police Department in D.C. More than 200 soldiers and airmen from the National Guard are already there, and 35 CSP personnel are headed to D.C. as well. Now the forecast.
For the rest of our Thursday afternoon, mostly cloudy, the high of 34. Then tonight, a couple of evening flurries, otherwise becoming clear and quite cold, the low down to 22. On Friday, sunny to partly cloudy, not as cold as it's been, the high up to 41. Saturday will be cloudy and breezy. We'll get a bit of snow and rain at times in the afternoon. Little or no accumulation, but a damp, raw, and chilly feeling day with a high of 44 and that strong south-southwest wind. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
From the WTIC 24-hour traffic network, only issue we're seeing out here is in Hamden. It's on the Wilbur Cross Parkway, southbound Route 15 between 60 and 59 in the area of the tunnel there. The right lane's closed due to a motor vehicle crash. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Worried about the Trump tariffs? At Columbia Implant Center, our prices won't go up. We produce all dentures, crowns, and implants in-house in our own digital lab. Columbia Implant Center, 1 day, same day, 7 days a week. Visit ColumbiaImplantCenter.com.
Local news can come at you fast. Want the latest on what's happening in your backyard? Download the free Odyssey app. Follow your local news station, and you'll get alerts on the top stories making headlines in your city. You can stay in the know, no matter what you're up to, and be among the first to find out when news breaks. Plus, keep tabs on weather and traffic, so you're never caught off guard. To get started, download the Odyssey app. That's AUDACY, and follow your local news station.
The law firm of Brown, Payne, Dearest, and Scott understands that divorce can be intimidating, and the decisions you make today will impact your life forever. Divorce is complicated. There's a lot at stake when considering your future. At Brown, Payne, Dearest, and Scott, our team of family attorneys have over 100 years of combined experience and understand every family law case is different. At BPS Lawyers, you get more than a lawyer, you get a law firm. Call us at 860-CALL-BPS or visit bpslawyers.com. Katie Bissonette is responsible for the content of this ad.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090.
Not all products are available in all 50 states. Compounded products are not FDA approved nor verified for safety, efficacy, or quality. Wegovy and Ozempic are not compounded. Prescription required. Restrictions apply. See website for full details.
Why try Hims for weight loss? If you're interested in personalized prescription options, including Ozempic, Wegovy, oral medications, and compounded GLP-1 injections, and the support to see real results, you might like it. Why try Hims to regrow hair? If a range of treatment options made with clinically proven ingredients like minoxidil and finasteride for thicker, fuller hair in 3 to 6 months sound good, you might like it. Why try Hims for ED? If you've been looking for access to doctor-trusted treatments like Viagra, Cialis, and their more affordable generic counterparts, you and your partner might like it. The Hims process is simple, 100% online, and treatments are shipped free to your door in discreet packaging if prescribed. What's not to like? To save big on weight loss, hair loss, and ED solutions, get started today at hims.com. That's hims.com.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't that nightmare.
Thank you, sir.
Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code SECONDFREE by January 26th. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to 10 coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is.
You know who it is.
You know who it is. It's Reese on the radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
We're back. Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC. Reading your comments in a second. As promised, I said I was going to pop something that was up on the that I noticed. Now, what you're seeing on the screen, only those of you who are watching online can actually see this. And this was, I don't know if you guys know this, but there was there's a thing called, it's like a chat room that they normally have online, and people discuss topics, be it radio, be it, astrophysics, whatever the case is. And I was actually looking for something, and I then ran across this from December of 2007. I've shared it with a couple of people who have seen it. But again, December 18th of 2007, I saw this clipping, which I am now sharing with you. So I'll be able to talk about it on the radio at some particular time, what it is. But those of you exclusively who watch online, you can see that clipping right there from December of 2007. And I only show it to say one thing. I believe in God because I know there's one. And I always believe that belief is for people who lack knowledge. I know there is a God. And I know that it is always by his design. So what you are seeing there, in my view, is God preordained it to happen, just like that. So I'll show it again at 4:35. I hope you get an opportunity to see it. But it blew my mind when I saw it, and here I am again. Let's get to your comments. They are in the chat room. Rama says, here's something nice. I'm going to miss Tom Shalhoub and Greg Gutfeld doing impressions of Biden. That's actually, I haven't seen those. Now I have to go see those. Scooter McGee says, and I think I know who Scooter McGee is. Oh, yeah, I know who Scooter McGee is. He says, I'm going to miss Biden doing an impression of Chance from the movie Being There. And I know that reference, but I'm losing it somehow. And Rama also says Biden did unite the country against him. It's very, very true. It is very true. He did unite the country against him. What else is on here? Oh, Amy T says something nice about Biden. He got me to vote for Trump. Does that count? Yes, it does. Of course that counts. 100% that counts. If it got you to do what you did. Richard A says, Uncle Joe, don't let the door hit you as you shuffle out. Roland says, Joe Biden will be the best announcer at bingo night ever. Well, wait a minute. First of all, Roland in the chat room, because I got to refer to him as Roland in the chat room because I have a producer, Roland. Roland in the chat room. That was going to be a nightmare. And let me tell you why it will be. I still am embarrassed by this. That's why I remember this story. With my ex-wife, Mary, she loved bingo. And one night, she begged me to go with her. She was like, no, come with me to bingo. I'm like, what am I going to do? Just sit around and watch people call out numbers? She goes, no, you can play with. I'm like, I don't want to do this. I know I don't want to do this because I don't know how to play. And I know it seems simple, but I know I'm going to make a mistake. Why? Because if you've been to bingo night, people have got sheets out the wazoo. It's like 10, 20. And when somebody rings it, you hear them go, pat, 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 pat. They're, dabbing all of the numbers on all the cards. So I don't want to even do that. But, of course, my wife makes me do 5. She makes me do 5 cards or 5 sheets, I guess, whatever. And so we're doing it. And I'm going over there. And the games of bingo are not like the games of bingo that you played when you were like 7. It's much more interesting. You've got to get this particular number along with bingo, or you got this particular corner with bingo, then it's a bingo. Well, I just got regular straight bingo. And I shouted, bingo! And the guy came over and looked at me and he says, no, you forgot the corner. And the women in bingo, you'd have thought I'd have...
Are you crazy?
Yes!
You can't call a false bingo.
I
bro.
never knew that. But here's, again, remember, I'm gregarious and I don't care. Here it is, a bunch of silver hairs inside the room yelling at me, right? They're groaning out loud after I go, bingo, and the guy goes, no, you have bingo. I was like, so all the women are like, you can hear them groaning. And then the voices get louder. And I'm feeling bullied. And then finally I was like, shut up. It's just bingo. But I'm realizing, of course, there's money at risk there. Yeah. So people are like, this is gambling, right? So I'm not thinking of it in that way. I'm thinking of, it's a fun night at bingo with the ladies. Oh, no, it's competitive bingo. It's
serious.
Yeah, put them in a sleeper hole type stuff, right? So I didn't realize that. And, of course, my ex-wife dragging me there, she's like, you're never coming back to bingo with me, are you? I'm like, you're damn right. Never.
I take my mom to the Foxwoods bingos all the time.
Do you?
Yeah.
There's a Foxwoods bingo?
Fits 3,000 people.
What?
Yeah, they have the paper. They have the digital tablet you can rent out for the night. It's about 3.5 hours long, something like that. And they give away a lot of money, a lot of money.
Oh yeah,
thousands.
I'm not gonna. Yeah, thousands. My wife came home with
per
like
bingo.
Yeah, my wife came home with like $2,000-$3,000 on a bingo night, and I'm like, but she was very addicted to it for a while. She lost a lot of money on that.
Yeah, you do.
She lost a lot. I'm like, I would never bet my rent money on a bingo game. I just wouldn't.
Oh, people are there betting rent money,
Social
car payment
Security.
money.
Yeah.
Yep. They get their check and they go to bingo and spend it all.
I know. And listen to me. I don't want to get anybody impression. I know there's some people out there who may be in that situation who, they do the bingo. I'm not trying to disparage you. I'm just telling you that I am naive, ignorant, and absolutely woeful to the idea of how people do it. I don't understand it. I never will.
I'm a pro now.
Do you?
Going with my mom. I used to go with my mom, my godfather, rest in peace, and his wife. So they would always like, Ro, could you drive us up there? Because they didn't like to drive. So I'll drive up there and I learned all the little nuances and ins and outs of it. So
yeah.
But it's fun when you win, but when you don't, it's not.
Yeah, people
And when
walk
you
out of
get
there
so close,
frustrated.
it's not. Yeah.
Yeah, frustrated. That's why they should have drinking. No, I'm kidding.
No, you trying to stop.
No, they should not incorporate that into those games at all. That would be even far worse. Anyway, back to the bingo. But my point was to Roland in the chat room's comment as to why the bingo thing. Here it is. I'm a guy who got the bingo wrong. Can you imagine Joe Biden calling bingo numbers? B 30. What is it? 30? 30 what? 30. That's not a 30-something? No, it's not. He would be the worst. Spawn says Trump and
There's no 30s in the B's.
Exactly.
1 through 15.
Even I know that. I'm no bingo man. Spawn says Trump and the AG will prove there was hanky spanky in the 2020 election. That's why Trump never conceded, and his AG replied the way that she did when questioned, in my humble opinion. I think you're 100% right. Lori L. says the beef thing about Biden is demonstrably illustrated the reason for Donald J. Trump to run again. Yes. Yeah, Michael B., I did see your riding with Biden flag. It is not safe for television and or radio at all. It's that bad. What else is on here? Let me see. One good thing I can say, Biden actually did unite the country again. Craig J. Says that again. And let me see. Tom Shalhoub does a perfect Biden. Okay, really, now I really have to see it. Let me see. Yeah. Richard A. says Joe Biden doing bingo would be B21. Lori says that dabbers and some play without dabbing, sock numbers and sock numbers, etc. You know what I don't understand about the bingo ladies? And again, you need to explain it to me. I'm not ragging on it. What's with the troll dolls? I need to understand that. I don't know the connection. Someone needs to break that down for me. But it's a big deal. Reese, don't get jumped at bingo. I'm never going back. Listen to me. Every time I drive by a VFW and it says bingo on Sunday or Thursday, whatever the day is, I cringe every time. That's why I told you. I remember that moment so vividly. It left such an indelible mark on my brain. Every time I see the word bingo on a building, I cringe and go back. I hearken back to that moment because it was the worst. It was the first and the last time I'd ever been to bingo, ever. And I'll never go back because of that. Because I felt like I had to fend off a bunch of old ladies who I really think wanted to come from my head. I don't know why, but it was this look, this overwhelming look of, watch what you say, boy. It was serious. Julie B. in Boston says, and you're right, They don't just regular bingo. And God forbid you call it and it's not bingo. It's like you touched a baby or something. Damn, I didn't think it was that bad. I just know that they were mad. They were just livid. And I've never seen anybody come out openly and say, you know, like literally like they hated you. Like they hated you. Marianne Austin say, hey, heard you with David Bellavia today in Buffalo. Great segment. Good points and funny as well. I really hope you and David do a weekly segment. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that, Marianne. I thank you for listening. It was a random call because I wanted to give David Bellavia a shout out. In fact, let me do that right now. Let me give Bellavia some props. If you don't know who David Bellavia is, you can look him up. But two things ran to my mind. And again, like I'm going to tell this story because I told it on our sister station in Buffalo. But this happened to me, and it was the most embarrassing thing ever. So David Bellavia is a Medal of Honor winner. And read his story. It's a fantastic story. But he's a talk show host up in Buffalo, and part of the family. And I was called to fill in for him several times, but I really never knew much about him. So I found out by accident. During the Republican National Convention this year, all of a sudden I hear the announcer say, coming to the stage, Medal of Honor winner, David Bellavia. And he comes up on the screen, and you can see him there. He comes out on stage. He gives a great speech, by the way. And it was during Jesse Waters' show. When it aired, Jesse Waters stopped his segment for David Bellavia to give his speech. He actually interrupted his program. David Bellavia gave his speech, and Jesse Waters butchers Bellavia's name. He calls him David Bellavia. In fact, I think I have it on tape. I'll find it. And so he butchers his name. But when he goes on stage, I start fanboying to my wife. Oh, my God, that's David Bellavia. I fill in for him. And my wife's going, what? I'm like, that's David Bellavia. I fill in for him. He's a Medal of Honor winner. I can't believe it. And then during Pete Hegseth's confirmation hearing, the chairman of that committee submitted a letter on Pete Hegseth's behalf, and it ended up being a letter from none other than David Bellavia. So I called him today to say, man, you're everywhere, and I'm fanboying on you everywhere. And we talked for a little while today, and it was a great conversation, talking pretty much about the same thing about Joe Biden. Not so much about him leaving, but just his speech last night. It was great. Hopefully, we do get to do that, Marianne. I'd love – Bellavia is fun. I love all the people here at WTIC and Odyssey. It's probably my best experience ever in doing that. So, anyway, speaking of confirmation hearings, we've got that audio coming up in a little bit, so stick around for that. The stupidest thing I read today is also associated with Joe Biden and his exit. And it's an article, you know what, I'm just going to tell you about it when we get here. It's the most amazing thing. Talk about giving soft soap to the outgoing administration. It will blow your mind. But we'll be back and talk about it in a bit. It's Reese on the radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
The county just requested more electric charging stations.
Orders have really amped up at Able Electric.
We need 3 more at First in Maine, and we just got another hotel chain.
It's no shock. Able Electric needs able electricians.
Grocery store wants charging stations too.
And fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest. The last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
Designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying. Just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
They say no two people learn the exact same way. So how did Babbel become the award-winning language learning app with over 16 million subscriptions sold? Well, we thought of you. All of you. Take Sierra. She's an artist and absolutely a visual learner. She's doing a deep dive into our Babbel wordplay videos.
Today I'll share a quick lesson on shopping in French.
Merci beaucoup. Malcolm is very much a type A, say it to my face type of learner. So he checks with Babbel's speech recognition to make sure that accent.
Sur le point.
Keith is sweet. He's a be in the room with real people kind of learner. So he loves the live online classes with our language experts.
Ok, class. Vos está pronto.
Estamos prontos.
Wherever you are, however you learn, Babbel is the best choice to break any language barrier. Try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
Damon John here, the people.
1 minute.
To share a secret that's changing people's lives. There's a company called National Debt Relief that can help you get out of debt faster than you ever thought possible, like 12 to 48 months from now. With National Debt Relief, you can cut your minimum credit card payments by 50% and pay as little as $250 a month. Imagine, instead of paying multiple high interest payments every month, you can make one low monthly program payment, plus you can get approved in just a few minutes. They've helped hundreds of thousands of people just like you. Trust me when I tell you, National Debt Relief's got your back and can help you get back on track.
To learn how you can reduce your credit card debt and become debt-free, call 800-234-7799. 800-234-7799. Again, that's 800-234-7799.
Don't wait. Apply today.
Stay locked in. Reese on the radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
We're back. It's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC. Let me play a couple of these clips. These are just incredible because, as I mentioned, Bernie Sanders, who has turned into a joke of himself. And I wish he would just, at this point of his life, as a career senator, give up the goods, man. Just join us, okay? So you don't have to look silly towing the line for these bozos. Fetterman got the word early and figured it out. Bernie, we'll save your legacy if you just drop the Democrats, much like we did for Joe Lieberman. Think about it. And I'm telling you, when Joe Lieberman was a liberal, when he was a Democrat, I had respect for Joe Lieberman. I did. He wasn't always I wasn't his biggest fan. Don't get me wrong. But he came around at the latter part when he understood that his party was going nuts. But here's Bernie Sanders, and he's talking to, Scott Bessent, head of Treasury, at least the nominee for Treasury. Listen to how this exchange goes, and I love Scott Bessent's response.
What I'm asking you is, when you have a handful of people like Musk, who will soon be part of the Trump administration, and others, when you have three people owning more wealth than the bottom half of American society, when these people have enormous influence over the media, when they spend huge amounts of money in both political parties to elect candidates, what Biden said last night is we're moving toward an oligarchy. I'm asking you that question. Do you think, forget how they made their money, do you think that when so few people have so much wealth and so much economic and political power, that is an oligarchic form of society?
Well, I would note that President Biden gave the Presidential Medal of Freedom to two people who I think would qualify for his oligarchs. This
is not a condemnation of any one individual.
Oh, wait a minute there, Bernie Sanders. It's not a condemnation of any individual people?
What I'm asking you is, when you have a handful of people like Musk.
Look, you don't have to do this to yourself, bro. You don't. You don't have to look like a clown. This stuff goes viral, right? That's the world we live in now. We live in the viral age. And when that clip goes out there, that's exactly what you're going to be remembered for. Ugh. That one little, darn it. They haven't learned yet. They're not learning. They're not. I know what people told me after the election. There was going to be an autopsy done. They were going to change their ways. They were going to try to find a way to meet in the middle, right? They were going to meet people where they are. They can't. This is more than an addiction. This is a tiger stripe thing. They can't change them. They're never going to. That's just who they are. It sucks, but, But that was just awful. I've got more of it. These people don't even know the committees that they're a part of. They know nothing about the country we live in. Scott Bissent has got even a ton more, but the next one I'm going to play in the next hour is fantastic. Fantastic. They know nothing about China. And they're still trying to push green energy. They know nothing about our adversaries. And these are elected officials. It's a funny thing to watch. I'm having a blast. Don't get me wrong. I don't want these people to ever change. Don't you go changing on me. You stay the way you are. I need you dumb and uninformed. The only informed person I need today is Mark Christopher at the BPS Traffic Center because he's informed about the traffic. How are we doing out there, Mark?
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you and good afternoon, everyone. If you're heading on the southbound side of 91, coming into Hartford, you got delays 33 down to 32 A and B. Northbound 91 moving well. Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 84 tied up in East Hartford, approaching the Bulkby Bridge out to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound slows from 46 Sisson Avenue into the tunnel. 291 eastbound a little tight from I-91 over to the Bissell Bridge. 2 eastbound moving well. Glastonbury into Marlborough. If you're heading into Middletown, 9 northbound slowing Harbor Park to the Argoni Bridge. 84 westbound. Some slow traffic between 27 and 26 in Cheshire. Southbound on the Parkway, we have an accident now between exits 61 and 60. The right lane shut down there, delays back to 62. Behind that, also an accident 91 northbound between exits 6 and 8 in New Haven. The right lane shut down, delays are back to I-95 behind that. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
Join us this Sunday for Tumulo Financial, your go-to for retirement planning and taxes. Tune in to the father and son duo from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. or catch the replay from 5 to 6 p.m. Tumulo Financial Retirement Planning with Integrity on WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
For the rest of our Thursday afternoon, mostly cloudy, the high of 34. Then tonight, a couple of evening flurries, otherwise becoming clear and quite cold, the low down to 22. Sunny to partly cloudy, not as cold for us on Friday to round out the week, the high up to 41. Then Saturday, cloudy, breezy, a bit of snow and rain at times in the afternoon. Little or no accumulation, but going to feel damp, raw, and chilly with the high of 44 and that strong south-southwest wind. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
WTIC is 99 and throwing a year-long celebration to 100 years on the air. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
It's 4 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. We have cloudy skies with a temperature of 31 degrees. Police in Stratford say a teacher used public school computers to run an extensive car sales scam online. More from
Wow.
WTIC's
Thanks,
Dave
Kevin.
Nager.
I will make a
Stratford
note of
police
that. I
say
appreciate
they
you.
received a tip about the scam last November. Teacher James O'Neill was using Stratford High School computers to try to sell cars on Facebook Marketplace. He would allegedly alter the bill of sales and other documents. By December, police were searching school computers to track down the scam. An arrest warrant was issued, and O'Neill was charged in New York with being a fugitive from justice. Now he faces charges including forgery and identity theft. He was held at Rikers Island. Now he's free on bond and will be in court next month. The school department says O'Neill is no longer with Stratford Schools. Dave Maker, WTIC 1080 News.
State Senate Democrats out with legislation on energy. Leaders say the Ratepayers First Act seeks to lower costs, improve generation through solar and nuclear power, and enhance grid reliability, among other things. Senator Norm Needleman co-chairs the General Assembly's Energy Committee.
The first, which I sort of feel at this moment in time is one of our original sins, is deregulation. It created a whole different marketplace. I think it was sold to the state as a panacea and something that was going to make it better and cheaper and more available.
The Republicans say when it comes to reducing consumer bills, doing away with the public benefits is a start. Many Eversource customers saw their bills skyrocket due to increases in the public benefits. last year. Israel's cabinet is set to meet tomorrow to vote on the ceasefire deal hammered out this week with Hamas. Secretary of State Blinken remains hopeful.
I'm very confident that this is moving forward, and we'll see the start of implementation of the agreement on Sunday.
CBS's Robert Berger says some in Prime Minister Netanyahu's cabinet aren't totally on board.
This is just a partial deal. This is the first phase of a deal. Of course, everyone is delighted to see the possible release of 33 Israeli hostages. The problem is that there are an additional 65 Israeli hostages that are still being held in Gaza that are not part of this deal.
Former employee at an area auto dealership now under arrest for allegedly using funds from her place of employment for personal use. 40-year-old Randy Kaiser faces larceny and other charges. Following a lengthy investigation, detectives say they determined Kaiser wrote checks to herself to pay rent, bills, and other personal debts. The estimated loss was put at around $142,000. Ranking member of the House Intelligence Committee is commenting on the ouster of that committee's chairman. Speaker Mike Johnson this week replaced former chair, Ohio Republican Mike Turner. Ranking member Connecticut Democrat Jim Himes says the move smacks of Turner not being all in for President-elect Trump.
And, this isn't that Mike Turner was a 30% Trump guy. He was a 90% Trump guy, but 90% is not good enough, particularly in a very sensitive position like somebody who is there to provide a check and a balance on the activities of the intelligence community.
From MSNBC. And Mr. Baseball has died.
Yelich sends one to right center and deep. Get up! Get up! Get out of here and gone for Yelich!
Bob Uecker was the voice of the Milwaukee Brewers for over 50 years. He enjoyed an undistinguished major league career before transitioning to the broadcast booth. Uecker was also a fixture on the late-night talk show circuit, often poking fun at his exploits on the field. He also acted, most notably as announcer Harry Doyle for the hapless Cleveland Indians in the major league films. Bob Uecker was 90 years old. On Wall Street, the closing bell report is sponsored by Bouvier Insurance. Dow down 68, NASDAQ down 172, S&P down 12 points. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Men, the new year is here.
1 minute.
Of us, you're going to make a resolution to improve your health. But if you're feeling sluggish and low energy, if your sleep patterns are off, if you've been working out and aren't seeing the gains you used to see, making that resolution may not be so easy. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, and if you're feeling the way I just described, we can likely help you with that resolution because those symptoms probably mean you're suffering with low testosterone. And at Northeast Men's Health, we're experts in treating this condition. With our low T protocols, if you're like most men, the change will astound you. You'll feel more energy and better mental clarity. Your sleep will improve. Your workouts will be better, and you'll likely find your sex drive goes up as well. So call us today and get treated for your low T. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone, the visit is free. Call 800-930-5956 or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 5 offices: Salem, New Hampshire, Dedham, Marlboro, Woburn, Farmington, Connecticut.
It's Reese on the radio. Ask your doctor if common sense is right for you. On News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Oh, you know what time it is.
This could very well be the stupidest person on the face of the earth.
Do I look that stupid? Yes, you do.
Stupidest thing I read today was from the CT Capital report. Well, at least they had the link there. This is coming from an outfit called Maine Public. And I think it's written, this is directly out of none other than NPR. Oh, NPR. Let me give them a round of applause. Who knows? Their days are numbered. I'm sorry. That was mean. But apparently they put out this article that talks about giving Joe Biden's presidency a grade. I can't tell you what the grade is. You got to read it yourself by going to reeseontheradio.com. That's REESE on the radio.com for the stupidest thing I read today. They gave, now I know, I get it. Sometimes you just got to say what you got to say. But this is just, come on. But I want to share this with you. And reading it is going to be fundamental. for the show, just because I saw this yesterday on Fox News. And when I read it, I went, wow. Another Reese on the radio clairvoyant moment. This was the poll of presidents by Gallup. And those of you who watch this show religiously, if not regularly, you know where I said Joe Biden was going to sit. And yes, yours truly was right. When it came to presidents based on outstanding, above average, average, below average, poor, and net positive, John F. Kennedy sits at the top of the list. And I'm assuming because he was assassinated. But where Joe Biden sits is right above Nixon at the bottom. You'll notice the name that's right above his, and that's George W. Bush. Let's get a check of our traffic with Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. What's going on, Mark?
Well, Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you, and good afternoon, everyone. If you are heading into the Hartford area right now, look for slow traffic 91 southbound 33 down to 32 A and B. Northbound 91's a good ride. Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 84 is a little tight. Tunnel out to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound, some slow traffic. About a half mile before 46 Sisson Avenue into the tunnel. 291 eastbound's a little slow on the Bissell Bridge. 2 eastbound moving well Glastonbury to Marlboro. Quiet Middletown. 84 westbound Waterbury slowing at the Mixmaster. Now, if you are traveling on the southbound side of the Parkway, we have an accident between exit 61 and 60. Right lane is shut down there, so you're going to see a little bit of a delay back to exit 62 behind that. And if you're heading down in toward New Haven, 95 southbound slowing from 46 down to exit 44 in New Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
Traffic is brought to you by the Heyman Law Firm.
If you or a loved one has been the victim of medical malpractice, know that you are not alone. Call 1-800-HEYMAN and they will get you the answers and advice you deserve. Attorney John Heyman is your legal authority in medical malpractice. Call 1-800-HEYMAN.
WTIC weather.
Snow flurries in the area early tonight, clearing later tonight. Low 22. Back to some sunshine tomorrow. It won't be as cold. A high of 41 tomorrow afternoon. And cloudy and breezy Saturday with a mix of rain and wet snow in the afternoon. No snow accumulation. High 40 to 44. Maybe a little sunshine early Sunday, then turning cloudy. High 36. We do expect snow Sunday night, and 3 to 6 inches could accumulate. It's now 30 in Windsor, 28 in Berlin, and 30 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Hey, it's Tom Shattuck, and we're now in the third week of the new year. Have you lost 16 pounds yet? If no, well, you probably didn't choose Awaken 180 weight loss. I lost 16 pounds my first 3 weeks alone. Switch it up and get your results at awaken180weightloss.com.
Sports became a bigger part of WTIC in the 1950s. In the early years, the focus was on coverage of the Hartford boxing scene, as well as local football rivalries and annual coverage of the Indy 500. In 1952, we started covering what was then the Insurance City Open, and 72 years later, we are still covering the tournament, which we now know as the Travelers Championship. In 57, we started regularly broadcasting the Boston Red Sox baseball team, and as you also know, the games are still heard right here. Also in 57, George Ehrlich, who was then considered the best play-by-play announcer in all of New England, joined the sports staff here, and with Floyd Richards brought UConn basketball and football to listeners. In 1973, WTIC became the radio home of the Hartford Whalers and broadcast the games until the team left Hartford in 1997.
The following heartwarming yet informative.
1 minute.
Trust and Will.
Son, your grandpa and I used to work on this car together, and when I'm gone, I want you to have it.
Wow.
Why? You ain't fixed it all that time. It don't need to be fixed.
Well, luckily, Trust and Will makes it easy. Designed by attorneys, but customized by you, you can easily create a state-specific, legally valid document that actually counts. Now, let's hear this tiger purr, am I right? Start your will at trustandwill.com. Use offer code COUNT for 10% off and make it count. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. For details, see trustandwill.com.
When you haven't found love, it can feel like everyone else has. It's in every movie, every song, and all the PDA. Looking for love sucks. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to find the one. We guarantee. It's life-changing, it's free. And new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
The self-proclaimed love child of Rush Limbaugh.
They're running a strange program, y'all.
Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
And we're back, and I want you guys to look, those of you who can, look at the screen. For those of you listening, I'm going to break this sort of list, if you will, down for you. And it comes out every, I guess, whenever a president leaves, Gallup puts this poll out that sort of ranks where that president is. And, a long time, we had the ranking of Donald Trump very much at the bottom. If I could find it, and I know it's somewhere in my archives, that Donald Trump was very, very low. And I remember how that used to affect me in a really angry way. I was just like, why did he do this? You know what? They do that to embarrass him and to shame him. And I used to take it personally. I don't mind so much where he is here. He's on the bottom half. But I want you to look at the list, because there's a considerable amount of people on this list who clearly are there at the top for the reasons that they should be. Even though I may not agree with it, they should be there. So John F. Kennedy is considered, as far as the level of outstanding, he's at 22%, and so is Ronald Reagan. Barack Obama comes in third at 19. Herbert Walker Bush then takes a demonstrable drop to 7, which again makes it crazy because Jimmy Carter is a 10. Herbert Walker Bush, as an outstanding rating, is 3 points lower than Jimmy Carter. But then Bill Clinton is 3 points lower as well. He's tied with Herbert Walker Bush at a 7. And if I remember correctly, Bill Clinton's election was monumental for young people. He was the Gen X president. I think I'm right there. I think I'm almost positive he was the Gen X president. So for him to show up there at number 7, the same level of Herbert Walker Bush, I don't know. I find that fascinating. Only because, what can you say? But Donald Trump's first term, according to this Gallup poll, Donald Trump is at 17, just 2 points south of Barack Obama, which in the outstanding level puts Donald Trump in rank in number 4. At number 4. Now, above average is a completely different thing, okay? Because that's the sycophantic, right? I don't think that any of those people who make those grades are really being totally honest. Some of them really, really adore said president if they're giving him an above average rating. So John F. Kennedy gets 48% above average. Ronald Reagan with 32. Barack Obama at 29. Herbert Walker Bush has 21. Jimmy Carter at 22. Bill Clinton at 27. So again, you see my point? And then Donald Trump's first term at 23. Which would technically put him, that would bring, what's the name, up, right? So that would be 4th, and then Donald Trump would be 5th. Okay.
Let's check the phone, see if Joe's working.
Really?
Let's check to see if it worked.
Okay. They're telling me in the middle of the program to check the phones. Either they're bored with me talking.
Never that.
Let's see what we got here. All right. And I just clicked, and let me see. That's, is that it right there? Yeah. No, I got nothing. No.
No, I don't see you clicking on my end.
No?
No.
I am. Maybe I should clock out and then log in.
Yeah, let me put him on and see if he talks.
Okay, no problem. All right, they're working the phone here. All right, back to my point, and I'll pop this up in a second. Oh, there he is. Hold on. Well, he's got him on that end. Joe, can you hear me?
I can't hear you loud and clear.
Beautiful. There he is. All right. We got the IT department is popping. An hour and 16 minutes into the show. They got it going. What's going on, Joe? What do you got?
You have a great backup man in Roland. I just had a short chat with him. You're lucky to have him.
I am lucky to have him. What do you got for me, Joe?
When you go to Washington as the press secretary someday, he'll have to be your backup when you're not able to come out to the press.
My assistant press secretary. Roland is very reclusive. He's not much of a, his words are expressed through the boards. He's a guy who talks with his fingers. If that makes any sense. That sounded really weird.
He doesn't say much, but it's a lot to say. You know what I mean?
Indeed. So what did you have something nice to say to Joe Biden as he leaves us?
Well, anyone who comes out with a list of presidents. Now, you're familiar with Bill O'Reilly's list of presidents, that book.
He comes with killing Reagan and all of that other stuff. Yeah.
Ranking the presidents. That's his newest book.
Oh, is that yeah, and it's a breakdown of every one of them, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
And he gives you a history of their background,
yes.
What's made them good or bad. I mean, it's spectacular. I think that book should be part of every high school's history curriculum. I mean, everybody would know what their presidents were about. I mean, when you hear Lyndon Johnson used to set up a bordello in Washington and film it, just like Jeffrey. He was a Jeffrey Epstein of Washington. He filmed these people. He had the help of Hoover and the FBI. And then he blackmailed them.
What was he? Early stages P. Diddy? Is that what he was?
Well, this kind of behavior, you can find it going back a long, long time. You know, it's all the same denominator.
It reminds me of the I forget what her name was, but she wasn't the Washington madam. There was the madam that was from New York that was very similar to that. She had her black book, and she had all the names of the people who were using her escort service, and there were a lot of.
I have the New York Post paper with her picture on it on the deck of her place in New York City in a bikini with a lot of her girlfriends.
Yeah.
She had a catchy name. She had jet black hair. I think she came from a wealthy background.
Oh, I don't remember her name. Her name will come to me though. What do you got for me? I don't want you to call about my nonsense. What do you got going on?
Well, as far as the presidents go, he rates Buchanan as the worst because he was the president prior to Lincoln, and he could have done something about going into the Civil War, and he did absolutely nothing and let the country slip into a civil war. Lincoln was left with the mess. Buchanan, he said if it weren't for that, Biden by far would have been the worst president, with the border and what's going to happen in years to come. But he says Biden can't be the worst because of what Buchanan allowed the Civil War to happen as a result.
Well, this list, let me just let you know, this list, the way that they put it out there, I think they go modern day presidents, and I think that they're going like the last 20th century into the 21st. But let me just break it down to you. So the net positive ranking, and this is probably the most important part of the ranking, it goes in order based on net positive. And these numbers are astronomically high because I think there's history behind them. This could change over the next couple of years. But it put John F. Kennedy at 68 with net positive, Ronald Reagan at 38, Barack Obama with 21, Herbert Walker Bush at 7, Jimmy Carter at 6, still beating Bill Clinton at 5. Donald Trump gets a -4. George W. Bush gets -9. And then it goes so far into the toilet is irredeemable. Joe Biden with a -35, just above Nixon at -42. That's
Jim, I talked to you about Jimmy Carter back when he died. Mm-hmm. And something I researched that I forgot to mention. Everybody says, well, he tried to get the hostages out and failed. And when Reagan took office, that very hour, they let him go.
It's almost like we're reliving that.
But I forgot. Those hostages were a result of Jimmy Carter's bad decision, worse than Afghanistan decision with Biden, in as much the Shah had cancer. He was going to get treated in France, but he wanted to come to the United States because our medical, of course, is better than any other medical.
It's where every world leader gets their cancer treatment.
And all of Jimmy Carter's advisors advised him, do not let him come to the United States. All hell is going to break loose in Iran. Jimmy Carter ignored his advisors and the generals, and he took the Shah into the United States, and then our embassy was swamped and the hostages were taken. People don't remember that. There wouldn't have been any hostages if it hadn't been for Jimmy Carter's terrible decision to take the Shah in. The Shah would have been treated in France, maybe not as well. And then the Shah died within 6 months anyway.
Yeah.
It wasn't like he lived another 10 years.
He was never, he was never ever supposed to be president of the United States, much like the guy we got leaving now. He's never supposed to be president.
And he brought in all his inner circle. They're trying to evaluate Trump's cabinet choices right now. Jimmy Carter brought in all his good boys from Georgia. He didn't bring in any qualified people. Hamilton, Jordan, they're all from Georgia. And you remember, I don't know if you remember this, probably too young for you. If you have this beer now, you're rich. His brother, Billy
Beer.
was like, yeah, Billy Beer. Like Hunter Biden is the tank, the toilet. But Billy Carter, drank a lot of beer. He was an alcoholic, and he was in a lot of, misdemeanor problems.
Yeah.
And he came out with the Billy Beer 1977, 78. Now, remember, I don't drink. But people told me that drank beer, it was the worst tasting beer they ever tasted.
I heard that too.
And a friend of mine said, I'm buying a case of it and putting it away for my retirement. This guy was in his 20s. I said, what are you going to do that for? He says, well, the beer's terrible, but it's going to be a collector's item because it's the president's brother.
Of course.
You go on eBay now and find an empty can of Billy Beer. It's in the thousands of dollars.
Oh, I got to look that up.
A case with the beer still in it, like fine wine.
Yeah.
I think it's like $500,000. I mean, you probably wouldn't find it so rare. But I mean, Hunter should come out with Hunter Coke or something. But the paintings are what they are,
Well, they're gone now. They're gone now. Actually, let me get to another one, Joe. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you holding on. Let's go to White Mike in Florida. What's going on, sir?
Hey, buddy. Did you watch the Pete Hegseth confirmation hearing?
I did. I mentioned in the beginning of the hour, David Bellavia, the guy I fill in for in Buffalo, he was actually mentioned as one of the letters that was being introduced introduced as evidence or a word for Pete Hegseth.
Buddy, I've never seen that many mentally unhinged women and a crazy homosexual in one place. Those people were demented.
Who was the one that was the most? I thought the silliest out of everyone was Kristen Gillibrand talking about, and again, here she's talking about women in the military. And her biggest gripe was that what Pete Hegseth wrote in his book was just mean, just so mean. And I'm like, do you even get the contradiction of what you're saying? Like what he said, people in the military should have been able to deal with. It's like I didn't even get into your Rono stuff, but the Kristen Gillibrand was just the most pathetic out of all of them.
My favorite was crazy-haired gay Tim Walsh, who basically asked Pete Hegseth,
"Do you beat your wife?"
Event that you beat your wife, would you be disqualified from this position? Well, what?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? It's like asking Tim Walsh, if you hypothetically were a homosexual, would you tell us?
And you know what? I thought that everyone who is losing their minds about Tim Kaine and those comments, palling up with Doug Emhoff after he had been accused of slapping his girlfriend in Paris, of course, powwowing with the Clintons, being the running mate of Hillary Clinton, who is the wife of a man who had been accused of rape by, was it Juanita Broderick, who she and I are friends on X. And again, look, Tim Kaine, and it shows to me when I watched it, how not just out of touch, but just how stupid these Democrats are, that one of those people on the Democrat side of the day has said, yeah, Tim, you ask him about the sexual impropriety stuff. Which shows it's like, you'll get a lot of sound bites. And it failed miserably for those reasons I just mentioned.
And then over on the House side, you had some appropriation subcommittee meeting.
Yeah.
Where Nancy Mace and the chick with the bad weave and the crazy eyelashes.
You're talking about Jasmine Crockett and Tubbs.
Yeah. They're about to come to blows over something.
Wanted that so bad.
At least in the old days, people had duels.
But at least, hold on. Tell me the truth, White Mike. Don't tell me that you weren't proud of Nancy Mace telling Sister Girl, we could take this outside.
Yeah, I'm just not happy that that's the level of discourse. Like, this isn't what the Greeks had in mind.
Right. But no, I mean, to be honest with you, the amount of vitriol that comes from the left was usually just accepted as that's what they're going to do. And I'm sorry, as much as people don't like Marjorie Taylor Greene, and as much as they don't like Nancy Mace, I like the fact that they are willing to kind of go to the mat with Democrats. I know it's not the usual decorum, but I'm sorry, it's about time that we matched, might for might, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if they go dirty, you got to go dirty because, honor's one thing, but victory's another.
I couldn't agree more. And look, guess what? Jasmine Crockett and Tubbs, what did she do immediately after? She started screaming for the CO. She's calling a cop. I got threatened. What happened, tough girl? I thought you were a tough girl. Now all of a sudden she's calling the cops.
So, is her look like attractive in the black community?
I don't know. For me, from what brothers tell me, her look is unbelievable. I gotta go. Let's go. Let's get to the BPS Traffic Center with Mark Christopher. Christopher, it's unbelievable.
EMF.
I gotta go.
In the 90s. Go cool off. Hey, southbound 91 coming into Hartford. You got some slow traffic, 33 down to 32 A and B. If you are on the northbound side of 91, that moves well Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 84 is tied up approaching the Bulky Bridge to 47 Sigourney Street. 84 eastbound, you've got delays a half mile before 46 Sisson Avenue into the Bulky Bridge. 291 eastbound's a little slow on the Bissell Bridge heading over into South Windsor. Route 2 eastbound, that's a good ride, Glastonbury into Marlboro. Quiet Middletown. Waterbury's slightly slow, 84 westbound as you approach the Mixmaster. If you are traveling on the southbound side of the Parkway, look for some slow traffic now as you move down between exit 61 and 60. We have a right lane accident reported there. And if you're heading down in toward New Haven, southbound 91's okay. South 95 a little slow, 46 down to 44. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
For the rest of our Thursday afternoon, mostly cloudy, the high of 34. Then tonight, a couple of evening flurries, otherwise becoming clear, quite cold, the low down to 22. On Friday, sunny to partly cloudy, not as cold as it's been, the high up to 41. Saturday will be cloudy and breezy. We'll get a bit of snow and rain at times in the afternoon. Little or no accumulation, but a damp, raw, and chilly feeling day with a high of 44 and that strong south-southwest wind. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
There's a lot happening in Washington and in your local neighborhood.
Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app to keep up with the latest.
And now, a WTIC news update.
It's 4:30. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Former Stratford High School teacher is facing charges. He ran an internet scam using school-owned computers. James O'Neill is no longer with the school system. Police say he was altering bills of sale in order to sell vehicles illegally on Facebook Market. The Woodbridge Police Department is advising residents of a rash of mail thefts. They say personal and business checks have been swiped from residential mailboxes. They suggest mailing such checks at your local post office. East Hartford police say a woman is accused of embezzling from her place of employment. Brandy Kaiser worked at a Kia dealership in town where she allegedly stole over $142,000 for her personal use. Secretary of State Blinken has defended the Biden administration's policies on the Israel war with Hamas after a ceasefire agreement in Gaza was reached. Blinken today saying he expects a deal to be implemented over the weekend. And state Senate Democrats are proposing several ways to increase energy supply in the state to lower residents' bills. One of their ideas is to expand nuclear power at Millstone and exploring whether another facility could be opened. Wall Street markets down this Thursday. The Dow lost 68 points. The Nasdaq finished off 172, and the S&P was down 12 points. Nothing doing locally in the NBA tonight. NHL, the Rangers out in Utah, and the Isles host Philly. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Hi, I'm Joe with SimpleSaleUSA.com, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 203-896-4000. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and more importantly, anywhere in Connecticut. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trash and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying junk houses. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and even foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 203-896-4000. That's 203-896-4000. 203-896-4000.
Hey everyone.
1 minute.
Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code SECONDFREE by January 26th. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details. I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash, and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother was saying he got life insurance from Ethos. With Ethos, it only took 10 minutes, and he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical... A few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
It's Reese on the radio.
And don't say we didn't warn you on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
And we're back. It's Reese on the radio. Rama says, I want the crowd in Congress to be yelling, Jerry, Jerry, when Nancy Mace and what's her name? Jasmine Crockett and Tubbs, they get into a fight. Do I have that soundbite? I'm with you on that one. Hey, look, it's not like it's above Parliament to see people. Have you seen those videos from like Czechoslovakia or former Czechoslovakia or in Japan or some other third world country and Parliament is in there duking it out on the floor? I'm like, when I hear these people having disagreements or yelling at each other in Congress, that's what I want. It's like people say, I cannot believe it. It's absolutely reprehensible. These people are shouting at each other. Are you kidding me? In the beginning, a man was almost beaten to death. During this, right before the Civil War, arguing about the freeing of slaves. We had a congressperson beaten on the floor, close to death. You got a couple of people calling names. Decorum. Losing their minds. Relax. I don't care if she called her a fat pig. Who cares? I don't care if she said her weave is crooked. So what? We need them to behave a certain way. Are you kidding? Do you know where you're talking about? Anyway, I don't know. I'm just baffled by these people who are saying that they want them to behave a certain way. I want them fighting. I want them passionately fighting for what they believe in. That's all. I said I would post it again. If you haven't seen it, you're just joining us. That was from December 18th of 2007. December 18th of 2007. That was a little clipping that I found that was on one of the Boston forums back in December of 2007. And I look at today. I sent it to a couple of people. I showed it to my wife, even my ex-wife, and I even shared it with Roland. It was like, wow. And again, I don't believe in the coincidences, but if you want to check that out, just go to reseontheradio.com. Join us on Facebook, on Rumble, on X, rewind the show. Don't forget to download the Odyssey app as well. But if you want to watch it, you just go there. Actually, Rob, who was it? Kevin L? I think Kevin L was the one who said in the chat room that you can live rewind if you are watching the show live on any of those platforms. So Rumble and YouTube, you can live rewind, which in essence means if you get distracted, you can put the show on pause while it's live and then come back to it later. Like I do when I'm streaming the news, I can actually pause it, or I'll be watching a live movie. I can actually pause it. Do you, Roland, let me ask you this. Do you have that streaming stuff? Do you do the streaming TV?
Absolutely. I haven't had cable since like 2012.
Okay. Do you mind if I ask who's your streaming provider for like regular television?
What do you mean?
Like who is your streaming service, or is it just like, I use Sling.
Oh, no. I don't have like a regular TV.
So you don't watch regular television, like network news and none of that?
Never.
Really?
Everything is on the apps.
Okay, so you watch, and there's no live television that you watch on those apps at all?
I can on Roku. They have live
Roku.
TV on
Roku has, okay, so Roku would be yours. Okay, good. Sling, Roku, those are pretty much the same deal. Okay, so Sling, I can actually watch the show. Like it'll be live broadcast, like a football game. I can catch it in progress. And then if I have to get up and grab some chips and whatever it is, I can pause it so I don't miss anything and watch it until it moves on. Has everybody really just gotten off regular cable? I thought like it was only a very limited amount of people. Let's get to traffic with Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Mark, are you on live television, or have you changed yours into streaming now too?
Yeah, I'm on. I use YouTube.
Oh, your YouTube
television.
TV.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. That one, I had that for a little while. For me, that's a little. I shouldn't say it's too pricey. It's roughly about the same price as Sling. It's like what?
Yeah, you know what? What I used to do, because I watch all the Red Sox games.
Yeah.
So you can get nested on Fubo.
Right.
But so I was going to Fubo during the baseball season, YouTube non-baseball season. But once you go on to Fubo, like for the men's basketball tournament, then I can't get like, I can't get True TV. I can't get TNT. It's a nightmare. So me and my wife just decided we'll stay with YouTube, and then I'll just pay $30 a month for Nesson during the baseball season.
Gotcha. That's not too much money. The numbers that I saw for regular cable today, now having to compete with streaming, are through the roof. It's insane. No wonder people are streaming. I didn't know I would ever stream, but now I'm on Sling.
Well, we were paying for cable, and internet was over $300 a month.
Yeah,
we switched over, so it's probably $100 less than it used to be.
I'm saving $150 doing it that way.
Yeah, there you go. But then you start adding on Netflix and Apple TV, and it seems like it's I don't know. I don't even coming and going.
Exactly.
There's 5,000 channels, and we maybe watch 30 at the most, maybe even just 20.
I love the old saying: "There's 5,000 channels and nothing's on."
Nothing to watch. It's so true though. Hey, thank you very much, Reese. Westbound 84 coming into Hartford. You got delays approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound, you got slow traffic. 44 Prospect Oakwood up to 46 Sisson Avenue. Southbound 91, little slow down. 33 down at 32 A and B. Easy ride northbound 91, Cromwell up into Windsor. 291, 384, okay. 2 eastbound, moving well, Glastonbury into Marlboro. Middletown's okay, 9 in the Aragoni Bridge. Waterbury 84 westbound, some slow traffic. 22 to the Mixmaster. Southbound on the Parkway, a little slow as you move down by exit 60. We had an accident reported there between 61 and 60, taking out the right lane. 95 South New Haven slows 44 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Mostly cloudy early tonight. A few snow flurries passing through, then becoming clear, low 22. Some sunshine tomorrow, not as cold, a high up to 41. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy, low 26. Saturday, cloudy, expect a bit of rain in the afternoon or rain, wet snow mix, high 44. For colder Sunday, early morning sun, then turning cloudy, high 36. Snow is expected Sunday night. There is potential for 3 to 6 inches to accumulate. Right now, it is 29 in Unionville. It's 28 in Meriden and 30 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Bob Larson on WTIC.
If better health, more energy, and detoxing your body are some of your priorities this year, get Active Liver today and start the year off knowing you're giving your liver some well-deserved relief.
You can find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS or online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com.
While the new administration may not get us the Panama Canal back,
You can always get a root canal at Columbia Implant Center. 1 day, same day, 7 days a week. Call 860-743-1898 or visit ColumbiaImplantCenter.com.
1 minute.
If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free.
All right, here we go.
329-2121. 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121.
President of the Chris Murphy Fan Club, Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Hey, what the heck is Chris doing? Where's he been? Is he in hiding because of the inauguration? Where you hiding, Chris? Where are you? Where are you? Get out here. Get from behind that empty cupboard, sir. What are you doing hiding back there? Come on out. Come on. That's okay. That's okay. Come on out, Chris. We're watching you. I know you're going to be there first day after, on the 20th. You'll be asking for all the cameras to get in front. You'll get in front of all of them and start talking about how you're going to stop this president from day one. Where's he? Is he on vacation? Is he running? Is he even going to the inauguration? I hear Nancy's not going. I hear a lot of people. Can I say this? This is important. You keep hearing these reports about who's not going to the inauguration. Michelle Obama, Nancy Pelosi, whomever it might be. And they're putting out these press releases that they are not going. I won't be there. I'm not going. Okay, let me explain this to you. It's like bragging about not being invited somewhere. Right? You're trying to give the impression that by you not being there, it's not worth watching or being a part of. I won't be there. So what's the use? I'm not going. Sweetie, Nancy, sweetheart, it ain't about you. Don't nobody care if you get them old hips down those stairs and sit and watch the inauguration. Nobody cares if your presence is there. Your time is over. Your influence is a wrap. Michelle Obama, if you're trying to let us know that you and Bear Bear are having some problems, or you're telling people, I'm not phony. I would never dare show up for his inauguration. We know there's problems between you and Bear Bear. It's okay. Don't worry about it, sister girl. We got you. We understand there may be trouble in Black Paradise. We know it's going to be a mess. We know it's going to be messy when everybody finds out what's going on between you and Bear Bear. I told you it was coming, but no one believed me. That's okay. You and Bear Bear, you don't have to be there. Barry will be there. Bear Bear will show up. He's got to show up for his new best friend, Donald Trump. Buds for life. They're going to do a buddy cop movie. Trump and Bear Bear, friends forever. But Michelle, that's okay, baby. You don't ever have to go. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to be anywhere. And if I may say so, nobody wants you ugly ass there anyway. Okay? All right? No one needs you or Nancy Pelosi to tone down the beauty of this pageantry. Okay? And let's be honest, I'm going to just say it as it is. I know I'm going to get some heck for it. I don't care. I just got to make it clear. There are going to be beautiful blonde women everywhere at this inauguration. Every one of them. Beautiful blondes everywhere. No matter where you look. Blonde here. Look at that blonde. There's another blonde. Wow, they're gorgeous. It's going to be like a Switzerland beauty pageant. It's going to be gorgeous. Everyone there will be beautiful. I don't care. It's going to, I mean, come on, even Carrie Underwood is going to be singing. It was like Donald Trump says, what are blondes doing on Monday? Can we get them out there to the inauguration? What the hell, Pam Anderson? You used to be beautiful once. Come on now. 860-522-WT. 860-522-WTIC. 860-522-9842. Dr. Steve is back. How you doing, Dr. Steve?
Yeah, it's I'm still laughing at the bear comment. It's good stuff.
Okay, what's up with you, Steve, man? I'm sorry, Doc. What's going on?
No, yeah, I was calling. I was reflecting on our conversation yesterday, and I always feel like it's so important for us to sort of start with common principles before we go to the place where we might disagree.
Yes.
And in general, I have many friends who are liberals. I have many friends who are conservatives.
Mm-hmm.
None of them are monsters. None of them are idiots. They're all passionate people who want the same objectives. They want, the best things, the best opportunities, the best sense of equality and justice and fairness and transparency. We all really want the same thing. And so I always feel like it's important to sort of start there. And so in that spirit, my question regarding our DEI conversation yesterday is,
mm-hmm.
I wonder if we can agree with this. So
okay.
Do you agree that knowing that, as I said, around 13%, I think it's 13 or 14% of Americans are black, are
Mm-hmm.
African American. Do you think in a utopian world we would have approximately the same percentage of black men and women who are doctors?
No.
Should there be an equitable proportion of black, Hispanic, white, Asian people represented in the field of medicine, or should it not be the case? And if not, why not? If yes, tell me more.
Okay. Definitely no. I do not believe in a proportional amount of people in roles based upon the structure of our population in the country. Why? Because it only exacerbates our difference when we're searching for unity in spite of our differences. So what I'm saying is that if I've got to follow a mold of let's get 13% of blacks in this industry, let's get 9% of Asians, I think it's even lower than that, of Asians in these positions, in essence, so that we make sure that each one is represented while we lose the core tenets of who we are, and that is in spite of where we come from, in spite of what race or even religion for that matter that we are, or gender, that we all serve one common purpose or common core, and that is unity. In essence, we don't judge people by those things. We don't deal with people on the basis of race or the basis of gender or the basis of sexual orientation. We actually deal with people on the simplest terms, and that is your humanity. Do you wish to help this person because they are in need? Do you wish to cure this person because they are sick? Do you wish to give a job to this person because they are qualified? Let's get rid of all of those immutable characteristics and just serve one another as humans so that we can ascend. That's all.
So I guess let me push back on that. So in a utopian world where racism does not exist, structural racism has never existed, and really there's no like ancestral history, like my dad was a doctor, my grandfather was a doctor, none of that stuff. We're talking about 1,000 years in the future, where there's no such thing as racism. Do you think that that we would end up at a place where there's an equitable proportion of blacks, Hispanics, Asians, etc.?
I hope not.
Or do you think that you hope not?
Yeah, I hope not. I mean, I know what this sounds. I know it sounds wild, but let me tell you why I hope not. Again, I don't want to judge you, and I don't want to be judged by the color of my skin, and I damn sure don't want our world to be emblematic of race. I want it to be emblematic of humanity. I really want people to look at each other by the character of those individuals. I want to be able to say, Dr. Steve, meet Michael B. He's a good guy. Hey, here's Dr. Steve. Dr. Steve really, really cares about people, and he wants everybody to be the best that they can be and be healthy and all that other stuff. You should see him as a doctor. I don't ever want to have to point out your race to a soul. And can I give you another example of what happened once? This was amazing one day. But I told this story years ago, and people always go, damn, but this was great. So my last wife, Mary, was a very jealous woman, primarily because I was kind of a heel. I was a horrible husband. And I was horrible. I was a cheating philanderer. I was the worst ever. She'll tell you, and I'm an honest guy about it. But anyway, when I first started working for corporate U-Haul, I was taking the bus back and forth from work because when we lived together, she had the car and she had to drive in Maryland. But I could take a bus home. It was only 10 minutes. So one day I called her and I said, hey, I'm about to get off of U-Haul, out of the office, and I'm about to take the bus to go home. I'll call you when I get to the house. So anyway, instead of the usual half an hour it would take for me to get home, because I have to get to the bus stop and wait for the bus and then go home, I called her in 5 minutes and said, hey, I'm home. So she goes, wow, you got home real fast. And I said, oh, I got a ride from somebody at the office. She said, who? And I said, this woman, Sheila, gave me a ride and drove me home. Well, my wife lost her mind. What are you getting in the car with a woman? And you drove up to my house? The neighbors can see you getting out of the car. And she's losing it. So a couple of months later, we're going to buy our first flat screen TV as a married couple to watch the Super Bowl. And we're in Best Buy. And I walk by, and sure enough, Sheila is inside the Best Buy with her daughter. And Sheila was no longer working for U-Haul at the time, but of course introduced her to my wife. And I said, Sheila, this is my wife, Mary. Mary meets her and blah, blah, blah. And I said, Sheila, she's the one who, remember back in the day, she drove me home from work that day. She goes, oh, blah, blah, blah. So we end up talking, and then we move on. My wife, who's Irish and white, nudges me and goes, why didn't you tell me that Sheila was black? And I said, what do you mean? Why didn't I tell you she was black? I just, I didn't see anything necessary. Why was it important to tell you that she was black? And she goes, well, then I wouldn't have thought you were cheating on me because I know you don't date black girls.
Wow.
That's what she said. And again, in my head, I'm just saying Sheila. It was of no importance who she was. I was just talking about the deed that she had done in getting me home without having to take the bus and got me home in time. It was a nice thing for somebody to do. But for my wife, she was more concerned about the race of an individual. Like that played a part of the story in some scenario. That's why I say, I know you're thinking about it in a good way. It's not that you're thinking about it in a nefarious way like my wife was, but in your sense, you're thinking that that's a good thing. But that's all about perspective, Dr. Steve. It's not about you being evil.
Yeah, no, again, we started from common ground here. Neither of us is evil,
right,
stupid, or a monster. I mean, we're just trying to figure out the best way to navigate a complex problem. And so let me put this to you. So I think the way you're interpreting my question, you're presuming that I think that if the proportion is 13% of blacks in America and it's only 12% of doctors are black, we need to push black people into medicine, look at their CVs above a white person because we haven't hit that target number. And that's not what my question is.
I got you.
I understand how you would presume that. My question is, don't you think that just there'd be a natural sorting, if you will, over time, such that if there's no structural racism, there's equal educational opportunity, equal numbers of substance use disorder, asthma, all these sort of things that are associated with certain demographic backgrounds. If all those things were equal, I think that by just the nature, again, of humanity, since we know that all the races are completely biologically equivalent from a perspective of their brain, that there's going to be, by chance, a random, an equitable or equal proportion.
I'll put it to you this way. This actually answers your question, and I think this is probably the part that's going to shock you. I'd put any amount of money on it. Let's say we do reach that so-called utopia. I promise you this is going to happen. If you did have 13% of doctors being black or each race being represented in that field, I'll put dollars to donuts, my friend, that blacks will not see the black doctor. Let me tell you why. This is true. This happened. It's beyond a shadow of a doubt. I'm in a conversation with a bunch of young black kids about politics, and a friend of mine who was an older white man was sitting next to me, and I was telling them about the election process, about the Reagan administration, about the Cold War, and I'm breaking all of this stuff down. In a group of black kids, there's only one white man sitting next to me. As I'm doling out the facts, do you know what every one of them did after I doled out the facts? They looked at the white guy, waiting for him to nod in agreement to codify what I had to say. See my point?
Yeah.
So
I totally do.
It was a matter of the black man telling them these facts could not be truthful until the white man approved.
I am well aware of that.
Okay, I know you're familiar with it. I know I'm not telling you tales out of school. So that's why I say we may get to those points, but again, there is a sort of internal sort of battle that goes on in those areas too. Dr. Steve, thank you, man, for calling us back, man. I appreciate you. We'll get to you. Got it, man. Dr. Steve, he's actually a good call. All right, let's get to another check of our traffic with Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. How we doing, Mark?
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're heading on the westbound side of 84 in Hartford, you got delays. Bulky Bridge to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound, some tight traffic now. Just after 44 Prospect Oakwood down into the tunnel. If you are traveling on the southbound side of 91, a little slow getting by 33 Jennings Road. Northbound 91 moves very well. Cromwell up into the Windsor exits. A little slow now between exit 36 and 37 as you move up into Windsor. 291, 384 O'Case, the river. 2 eastbound moving well. Glastonbury into Marlboro. 9 northbound slowing. Harbor Park to the Aragoni Bridge. 84 westbound in Waterbury slowing as you approach the Mixmaster. Southbound Parkway delays as you approach 61. We have an accident between 61 and 60. Southbound on the Parkway in Hamden, right lane blocked. 95 South New Haven slows 46 down to 44. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
For the rest of our Thursday afternoon, mostly cloudy, the high of 34. A couple of evening flurries, otherwise becoming clear. It'll be cold, the low down to 22. And sunny to partly cloudy for Friday, not as cold as it's been, the high of 41. Friday night, partly cloudy, cold, the low down to 26. Now Saturday, cloudy and breezy. We'll get a bit of snow and rain at times in the afternoon. Little or no accumulation, but a damp, raw, and chilly feeling day. The high 44 will feel a lot cooler with a strong south-southwest wind all day. Saturday night, a little accumulation of snow and rain early in the evening, otherwise cloudy and cold, the low 28. Some sun and turning cloudy Sunday, the high 36. Monday, mostly sunny, breezy, and notably colder. The high only 23 will feel like single digits and teens at times with the strong northwest winds. Then frigid with lots of sun on Tuesday, the high only 17. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Follow WTIC News Talk 1080. Don't miss out on important updates in Connecticut. From breaking need-to-know news, weather alerts, and more. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app now. WTIC is 99 and throwing a year-long celebration to 100 years on the air. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
5 o'clock, good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. 28 degrees in Hartford at the state capitol today. Senate Democrats unveiled legislation they say is aimed at consumers who saw their electricity bills skyrocket last summer. Many saw the public benefits portion of their Eversource bill double or even triple. Democrats have unveiled their Ratepayers First Act. State Senate President Martin Looney says it has a multifaceted purpose.
And it will seek to address costs and enhance the reliability of Connecticut's power grid, increase energy production, and ensure that utilities prioritize ratepayers and recognize their responsibility as public utilities.
Republicans are out with a 6-point plan to deal with the issue, including getting rid of that public benefits portion of the electric bill. The Democrats' plan also seeks to increase the power supply through solar and nuclear power and improve power grid reliability. That ceasefire between Israel and Hamas isn't a done deal just yet. The Israeli cabinet votes tomorrow. Some of the hardliners are opposing it, though, but Secretary of State Blinken is optimistic.
It's not exactly surprising that in a process, in a negotiation that has been this challenging, this fraught, you may get a loose end. We're tying up that loose end as we speak.
The Israeli forces stepped up attacks in Gaza today. A former Stratford High School teacher is facing charges. He ran an internet scam using school-owned computers. James O'Neill is no longer with the school system. Police say he was altering bills of sale to sell vehicles illegally on Facebook Market. Detectives began looking into O'Neill in November after receiving a tip, then executed a pair of warrants in December. O'Neill was arrested in New York earlier this month. He's charged with forgery, identity theft, and operating a repair business without a license. President Biden delivered another goodbye address today, this one to the Defense Department. His final days as Commander-in-Chief.
This is a very critical one, considering how much emphasis he has put on his work to really solidify America's place on the global stage.
CBS's Weijia Zhang, the president thanked troops for helping to defend Israel and Ukraine. Rudy Giuliani has settled a couple of Georgia election workers in a deal they say lets him keep his homes and personal belongings in return for compensation and a promise never to defame them again. The deal announced today came after the women were awarded a $148 million judgment against Giuliani. He had been scheduled to testify today in Manhattan federal court at a trial to decide whether he must give the assets to two former election workers, but he didn't show up. Last week, the 80-year-old former New York City mayor has been found in contempt of court for failing to provide information about some assets and for continuing to speak disparagingly about the election workers. Saying the intelligence community needed a fresh start, House Speaker Mike Johnson this week stripped fellow Republican Mike Turner of Ohio of his title as chair of the House Intelligence Committee. While Turner was a supporter of President-elect Trump, his views often clashed with Trump's during his first term in office. Intelligence Committee ranking Democrat Connecticut's Jim Himes says that may have led to Turner's ouster.
Mike was by and large a supporter of President Trump, but he maintained some independence. And Mike Turner also knew that his job was to, even when the president was of his party, was to provide tough oversight of the activities of the executive branch.
Audio from MSNBC. Wall Street Dow down 68 today. NASDAQ lost 172, and the S&P was down 12 points. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
1 minute.
McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy.
I'm ready.
Founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys.
That's right.
If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare or pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090.
It's the 5 o'clock focus.
It's the 5 o'clock focus.
I'm focused, man. Oh, man. Reese on the radio, 5 o'clock focus. Before we get into that, Rama, thank you in the chat room for remembering this. Rama is he's my go-to on pop culture, media, and stuff like that. He just sent me this text. He says, oh, remember that episode of Sanford and Son when Fred had to see a dentist and he insisted that he not see a black dentist? Now, I know it's scripted, but it's television. But again, that was emblematic of what people thought. People in black communities don't really trust certain people in certain industries. They just know them to be, I remember when KRS-One was the first person to say out loud, hey, if you want to get in the rap industry and get a lawyer, make sure you get a Jewish lawyer. And he wasn't saying that to be anti-Semitic. He was just saying that they are the best in the business and they understand the record business. Again, he was lauding them, right? And in the music industry, and especially in the hip-hop music industry, there are very few black lawyers, even though there are some, that hip-hop or rappers go to. They just don't. They just don't. So you can make it fair and equitable, but they're not really. It doesn't mean they're going to flock to them just because they're there. The industry doesn't flourish. What do you do then? So that's all my point is. So for those of you who don't know, the 5 o'clock focus is the same as the focus it was earlier when the phones were off, but the phones are on now. If you can, find something nice to say about the outgoing administration. If it's not just Joe Biden, how about something with Karine Jean-Pierre? Say you're going to miss her interesting outfit. Does anybody remember? Does anybody remember the zoot suit? Oh, the zoot suit was the best. It was an oversized suit. As soon as I saw it, I said, Karine Jean-Pierre, does your big brother know you have his clothes on? Does he know? Does you know you? Are you wearing your daddy's clothes again? So just name something that you could think of that, you know, that you're going to bid a fond farewell to. Say, you know, bye, guys. It was nice knowing you. Remember that time when you, just one of those. They say that, by the way, I heard at the top of the hour that Joe Biden gave a farewell address to the Defense Department. I wonder if he recognized Lloyd Austin. Hey, where do I know you from? Can you imagine that? Joe Biden walks up to give a speech to the Defense Department. Lloyd Austin sitting there in the front. He's going, I know you. I'm not really good with faces. What's your name again? Sir, I'm your Secretary of Defense, Lloyd Austin. Still not ringing a bell. What's your job here? Let's get another check on the traffic with Mark Christopher, the BPS Traffic Center. I know he doesn't know who Lloyd Austin is. The guy didn't bother to call him when he had a heart attack. He didn't even bother to call him. He didn't even ask where he was. He didn't even say, hey, where's the big black guy who works in defense? He didn't. He didn't even think about it.
He's in the hospital.
Yeah, he's in the hospital.
Nobody knew where he was.
Not once did he even think. I haven't heard that guy for a while. We got 2 wars going on, and not once did he ever say, there's a secretary of something. Can't put my finger on it. Where's that guy?
Oh, boy.
It's just
unbelievable.
He's fantastic. I'm sorry. Let me move on.
The gift that just keeps on giving for a radio talk show host.
Oh, yeah.
Westbound 84 coming into Hartford right now. Reese, you got delays approaching the Boakley Bridge to 47. 84 eastbound tied up a half mile before 46th Avenue into the tunnel. Southbound 91's a little slow at 32A and B. Northbound 91 moving well. Cromwell through downtown up into the Windsor exits. 291, 384, okay, eastbound moving well. Glastonbury into Marlboro. Quiet Middletown. Waterbury 84 westbound a little slow at the Mixmaster. If you're heading southbound on the Parkway, we have an accident between 61 and 60 in Hamden. Right lane blocked. 95 South New Haven slowing from 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8 WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
That's a pretty good snow shower now between Danbury and Waterbury along 84, so be aware if you're headed that direction. As we head through the rest of tonight, a couple of snow showers and flurries, then becoming clear, the low down to 22. Then sunny to partly cloudy, making our way through the day. Friday, the high 41, a little milder than it's been. Then Saturday, cloudy, breezy, a bit of snow and rain at times in the afternoon, little or no accumulation, the high 44. Strong south-southwest wind throughout the day. Sunday, we'll get some sun, then it turns cloudy, the high 38. Sunday night, 3 to 6 inches of snow, so we'll have rapidly worsening travel conditions. Temperatures are going to bottom out quickly, too, with the low down to 17, so it is going to be very slick overnight with very poor visibility. Monday, mostly sunny, breezy, and colder. Again, expect slick travel early, the high only 26 with a strong northwest wind throughout the day. Currently, it is 28 in Bridgeport, New Haven at 30, Meriden also at 30. It's 28 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Hair Volume is the best-selling hair tablet in the world and one of many award-winning natural hair products from New Nordic. Purchase at newnordicusa.com or at CVS. That's newnordicusa.com.
We all have insecurities. Your smile shouldn't be one of them. Come visit us at Columbia Implant Center. 1 day, same day, 7 days a week. Call 860-743-1898 or at columbiaimplantcenter.com.
Let's be honest, it's not normal. That pain caused from chronic joint pain day after day. Some of you have dealt with that pain for so long, it's part of your new normal, but it's not normal, and you can actually do something about it without surgery and without drugs. That's right. The folks at QC Kinetics can get that done for you. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in what they call regenerative medicine. joint preservation. You can revitalize your joints with advanced orthobiologic treatments at QC Kinetics. No steroids, no drugs, no surgery. It's the future of medicine. They use an array of natural solutions like PRP to attack the pain from arthritis. It's incredible. Thousands of people with pain have discovered these cellular treatments and are living life to the fullest again. You want to know more about QC Kinetics? Well, they have a free consultation. Give them a call. If you're dealing with joint pain, whether it's injury or arthritis, you can do something about it without surgery. 860-440-PAIN, 860-440-PAIN. They have offices in Avon, New Haven, and Glastonbury. Again, it's QC Kinetics. The consultation's free. 860-440-PAIN.
Attention small business owners needing finance.
1 minute.
Funding is providing funds for expansion, inventory, increased overhead, even slow cash flow to small businesses all over America with affordable funding as soon as one business day. And we're ready to help with funding from $10,000 to $2 million. If you've been in business for 1 year or more with a monthly income of at least $25,000, you can get the affordable funding you need with no collateral. Go to swishfunding.com today. That's swishfunding.com.
I'm a pretty great multitasker. I can wash dishes and do laundry. I can roller skate while walking my dog. I can even order lunch while doing my homework. But I can't use my phone while driving.
And 10.
It's one of the leading causes of death in the United States. So when it comes to driving, please, don't be a multitasker.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
It's the 5 o'clock focus.
It's the 5 o'clock focus.
I'm focused, man.
Let's get to the phones at 860-522-WTIC. Dave's in Brantford. How we doing, sir?
Reese?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. I must say, the things you just throw out there offhand, that you are the president of the Chris Murphy fan club, and the part about your Rush Limbaugh's love child.
Yes.
Did the word child set off any controversy? How dare you? That's dismissive. Don't call me a love child. God forbid. Okay. As Rush would say, we illustrate absurdity by being absurd.
That's right.
I want to direct you to a story I saw in the paper yesterday. I won't name it because you'll pull my leg. The Reverend Boise Kimber has been elected to the National Baptist Convention. He's the president of the largest black church group in America.
Okay.
That would be the National Baptist Convention USA.
Okay.
And that's pretty interesting. And the reason I call attention to it, I didn't know you had such an interest in Issues Christian that you've kind of been on this week.
Yeah, of course.
With Darrell, what's his name?
Yes, Darrell Goodwin.
Yeah, and then you had the other guy called in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember his name either. But anyway, perhaps you could hook up and get an interview with Kimber. I don't like him myself because he's a bald-headed racist. But what I did like about him, in the old school spare the rod, spoil the kid, his notions on education were we don't take any crap. You misbehave, you're out.
What's his? Give me his full name again,
that.
Dave. Give me his full name again.
B-O-I-S-E. B-O-I-M-B.
Boise Kimber. I got him.
Boise Kimber.
Got him.
And he has been on. He's been on Pastor Will's show. He's been on Shattuck's show in the past. He has consented to interview.
Good.
He has still got a church in New Haven, the Calvary Baptist Church. The first Calvary
It's
Baptist.
exactly what popped up.
And I think this is a little bit of supposition, and then I'll get off. He was all about being a Democrat, but I think his version of being a Democrat was all black people in all the head positions. And he kind of lost his thrust when he put thumbs down on Renee Dominguez, who Mayor Elliker had nominated to be the police commissioner in New Haven.
Okay.
And she wasn't black. And Kimber got all the aldermen to not accept Renee Dominguez as the head of the police department. And so
if I'm understanding this correctly, Dominguez is a Hispanic and or Latin person.
Yes, she was a Latino woman.
Yes.
And she certainly had the diversity quotient. But
Yes.
Kimber was not satisfied. She wasn't black. And every time they wanted a superintendent of the schools, it had to be black. He was an out-and-out racist.
Oh, I need this guy.
You know, but I think it's funny that his version of Christian is, again, spare the rod, spoil the kid. And he'd say a lot of stuff about rules, being on time in school that you and I would agree with. And it's funny how it got grafted into that equity thing.
I would look at it this way, Dave. You know what? This is one of those opportunities where we say all of us are a little bit complicated. And it appears to be that Boise Kimber, Reverend, is it Reverend Boise Kimber?
It's Reverend. Occasionally, he works in the doctor in front of it.
Yes. Oh, okay. Doctor, Pastor, Reverend.
And also, I have to throw in at the end, he did get arrested and convicted for embezzling funds when he worked at a funeral parlor.
Ooh.
And that is detestable. Women who would pay in advance, and the money disappeared.
Okay. But no, I will listen. I've got his telephone number here. He will be receiving a call, my friend.
I'm glad the electrons finally started to work at the station. Bye.
Mike is in Plainville. How we doing, Mike?
I don't have any bon voyage messages for any of the...
Not one person? John Kirby even?
I know. I excuse me. I know where I'd like to take them.
Well, how about this one, Mike? Let's look at the administration overall, right? Even if they're demonstrable and horrible leadership, even though it led for the American people to realize that we had made a mistake 4 years ago, isn't that in some way a positive thing to say about them? That they led us down the way that we are today?
I do like Lloyd Austin. I think he's...
You do? Okay. There you go.
I do. I like Lloyd Austin because he's a career military man.
Right.
My son is a career military.
Oh, so there's a brethren there. I get it. Okay,
yeah.
There you go.
Now, what's the other thing I forgot what I wanted to say. As far as these women that interviewed Pam Bondi yesterday.
Oh, yes.
They need to go out and have some fun. Either that, they got to call silver singles. I don't know, but these women, they're toxic.
Silver singles. Is that a thing? I've never even heard of that. Silver singles.
Yeah, that's a dating app for people over 60. I haven't tapped into it yet.
Okay. All right. Oh, you're not that far gone yet. I get you.
I'm not that far, only halfway gone, but I can't think of the item I wanted to bring up. Something was probably the most important one. I'm gonna have to wait till tomorrow.
That's okay. All right, don't worry. We can save it for tomorrow, Mike. I appreciate it nonetheless, sir. Thank you for calling. Let's go to Fred in Middletown. How we doing, sir?
Hey. Well, I just called up with a one-liner, Chris Murphy material.
Yes, sir.
That crime is so low that Chris Murphy's armed security guards are carrying a smaller caliber gun these days. But then, and I've done a cartoon, we see Chris walking perhaps across Connecticut and guys with Ray-Bans and pistols in front and behind him.
Right.
But I'm going to put it up on the kiosk by the Pride Walk here. Our mayor, of course, is a Chris Murphy scion, Mayor Floshine. He was an intern for Murphy. That's like the scariest thought in my head. But just while I was on hold, so this noisy Kimber guy.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a famous New Haven scumbag. Yeah, he's just bad news. You totally want to get him on.
I do. Oh, so okay. So he's so bad, I need to interview him.
Yes.
Okay.
And let me just close with one last thing. I had a black girlfriend 11 years ago, and she used to have, and I won't swear in the last word, don't worry. She used to have a 4-word B thing. B as in black, B as in Baptist, B as in bigot, B as in bullspit.
Ooh.
Yeah, she would put those 4 things together. But so, now Martin King was a Baptist, but like
I think
Baptist
a guy like
almost,
this, you have to understand that, and this sounds crazy, Fred, but the truth is, guys like Boise, guys like Black Lives Matter 860, guys like, what's his name? Exdale X or whatever his name is. Who cares? He doesn't return anybody's phone calls. He gets no respect for me. Guys like this can exist in a place like Connecticut because, and I don't say this to be disrespectful, but white leadership in this state are scared of black people like them. They're deathly afraid of them.
They're one sentence.
Yeah, they are scared of them. And these are the kinds of black people who steal the lunch money of, let's just say fearful white kids. That's
this guy was robbing the kid.
exactly. Exactly. These are the guys. These are the kind of guys who look for white marks and they bully them. Yeah. And if guys like, you see these guys all the time, they're afraid to talk about race. That when they talk about race, they want to make sure that they say the right things and they sound very supportive. I don't want to be offensive to anyone and their plight. They just, and they're very, that's why I said, these black people in Connecticut who hear me, and I know they listen to me, and I know that they're angry. I tell them all the time, and I'll tell them to their face. It's like, you sound like you're doing the work for the white man. I go, yeah, I am. Yes, right to your face. I'm doing the work for the white man. That's right. I'm a double agent.
Paycheck right now. That's a white woman, right?
Exactly.
But real quick, these are lunch money thieves who hit the big time.
That's it. That's all they are.
To combine our respective materials. Thank you.
You got it. And they found their mark. That's the whole thing. They just found their mark. They come around here and they bully. And look, this sounds cliche, okay? When I was a kid, there was a guy by the name of Cornflake that used to bully me to death, okay? His name was James, but I don't know how he even got the name Cornflake, but that was his name. And he bullied me. And he bullied me from junior high school until I was out of high school, but he bullied me. And we're talking about, I didn't just bully me like, it was like, wait until 3 o'clock. No, he had gangs of people beat me and stomp on me. He was a big bully. He was very influential in my life. And as I got older and I got more and more fearless, I grew to hate bullies. And in a lot of ways, I became one. I'm not going to lie, I did. When I knew that I could fight, when I knew that I could push back, when I knew that I had a silver tongue, I kind of became a bully. But I used my bullying for good. I just want to let everybody know that. I used my bullying for good. So when I saw bullies, I would bully them. Curtis was this kid in junior high school who used to do that. When teachers or anybody else was treating people badly, Curtis was this big bad dude who looked like, that movie My Bodyguard where the rumor was that he killed his brother, whatever. Curtis was that big dude who clearly didn't belong like he was in high school. He looked like he should be, tending garbage for the local sanitation company. He was huge. And if a teacher was disrespectful to the students, he stepped up for us. If he saw a young kid getting bullied, a kid getting bullied by other people, he would walk down and people would be fearful and he would let the bully know, don't mess with them. Nerds loved Curtis, and I loved Curtis for that. And when I knew that you could use your bullying for good, I became a bully. As my ex-girlfriend used to say, use your powers for good, Reese. Use your powers for good. And guys like this that I hear that say these ridiculous and really, really off the meat rack stuff to people and get them to acquiesce. And I watch these people cower. Oh, I don't want to offend you. I don't want to misrepresent your experience. You poor black person. Yes, those are the people I want to beat up on the most. Because I know they're taking advantage. And that's why, and look, people always say, it was like, Reese, you shouldn't use this word. I understand. But I have to. I hate them. I do. They deserve my hate. And I hate them so much, I have to devote all my energy to destroying them so that people can be free. Because just as bad as the people who work in politics, like your elected officials who do things against the will of the people and do agenda-driven legislation that really destroys the fabric of who we are and take away more and more and more of our freedoms, these people, these grifters are no worse. But what do you know why? Because they're in cahoots with these bozos. It's usually bullies like this who are in concert with those people who act against the will of the people. So as far as I'm concerned, they are the same people, and I have to hate them. And I have to let them know, and I have to go after them, and I know they're going to come after me. I want them to draw their energy to me. Please, come here. Draw that hatred towards me. As the Emperor says, you want this? I can feel your anger getting stronger. I want it. I want it. Rest of these people Yeah, they want to get along. I don't want to get along. The people I get along with famously. The people who like this show love the show famously. People who want to be friends all the time. But the bad folks, they know. They know who they are. I don't have to tell them. But I got to say, I hope he wants to come on the show. I hope there's somebody listening right now running to him. Pastor, minister, reverend, there's a bad man on WTIC. He's coming for you, sir. He's coming for you.
Keep talking. He's still on other.
Be careful, sir. He's one of them. He's coming for you. He's got your number. They're talking about you on the radio. What you gonna do, Pastor? I'm sorry. I sometimes get ahead of myself. It's fun. It's fun for me. I'm gonna have more fun. So there he is. National Baptist New President Boise Kimber of the 1st Cavalry Baptist Church. Next on my list. Let's get to the BPS Traffic Center with Mark Christopher. Hey, Mark.
Hey there, Reese. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon, everyone. Well, if you're heading toward Hartford right now and you're on the southbound side of I-91, just a little tap of the brakes at 32A and B. South of downtown, once again, a minor slowdown as you push down bikes at 26 Marsh Street in Weathersfield, and another bump as you move down, getting by exit 21 in Cromwell. Northbound 91, easy ride, Cromwell up into Windsor. 291, 384 looking good east of the river. 2 eastbound's okay, Glastonbury into Marlboro. Both sides of 9, Irrigotti Bridge moving well through Middletown. Heading into Waterbury, 84 westbound, sluggish traffic, 23 into the Mixmaster. Southbound on the Parkway, look out for an accident between exit 61 and 60. You've got delays back to exit 62. Behind that right lane block there. 95 South New Haven slows 46 to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
For the rest of our Thursday afternoon, mostly cloudy, the high of 34. A couple of evening flurries, otherwise becoming clear. It'll be cold, the low down to 22. And sunny to partly cloudy for Friday, not as cold as it's been, the high of 41. Friday night, partly cloudy, cold, the low down to 26. Now Saturday, cloudy and breezy. We'll get a bit of snow and rain at times in the afternoon. Little or no accumulation, but a damp, raw, and chilly feeling day. The high 44 will feel a lot cooler with a strong south-southwest wind all day. Saturday night, a little accumulation of snow and rain early in the evening, otherwise cloudy and cold, the low 28. Some sun, then turning cloudy Sunday, the high 36. Monday, mostly sunny, breezy, and notably colder. The high only 23 will feel like single digits and teens at times with the strong northwest winds. Then frigid with lots of sun on Tuesday, the high only 17. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Follow WTIC News Talk 1080. Don't miss out on important updates in Connecticut. From breaking need-to-know news, weather alerts, and more. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app now. And now, a WTIC News Update.
5:30, good afternoon. I'm John Silva. There's been a bit of a snag in that ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu says complications from the terror group have postponed a vote by his cabinet until Hamas backs down. The thinking is that that vote will take place tomorrow. Former Stratford High School teacher has been arrested for running an internet scam using school computers. James O'Neill faces forgery and other charges. Police say he was altering bills of sale on vehicles in an attempt to sell them on Facebook Market. A woman under arrest in East Hartford. She's accused of embezzling from her former place of employment. Police say Brandy Kaiser stole $142,000 from a Kia dealership to pay personal expenses. In Woodbridge, the police there are warning of mail thefts. They say there's been a rash of thefts of business and personal checks from mailboxes. They're advising not leaving outgoing mail in your box with the flag up, and best to mail the personal and business checks inside a post office. Heartbroken families, burned out business owners, and beleaguered Los Angeles leaders are beginning to ponder a monumental task, and that's rebuilding what's lost in the Southern California wildfires. Even with the flames of 2 large fires still leaping, government officials are talking of the vast job of clearing toxic debris. And units of the Connecticut National Guard and the state police will be headed to D.C. to help in the security detail for the presidential inauguration come Monday. The National Guard will deploy about 200 soldiers and airmen, and CSP personnel, about 35, are headed to D.C. as well. Wall Street, the Dow finished down 68 points today. The Nasdaq lost 172, and the S&P was down 12 points. Nothing doing locally in the NBA tonight. In the NHL, the Rangers skate in Utah. The Isles host Philly. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Not all products are available in all 50 states. Compounded products are not FDA approved nor verified for safety, efficacy, or quality. Wegovy and Ozempic are not compounded. Prescription required. Restrictions apply. See website for full details.
Why try Hims for weight loss? If you're interested in personalized prescription options, including Ozempic, Wegovy, oral medications, and compounded GLP-1 injections, and the support to see real results, you might like it. Why try Hims to regrow hair? If a range of treatment options made with clinically proven ingredients like minoxidil and finasteride for thicker, fuller hair in 3 to 6 months sound good, you might like it. Why try Hims for ED? If you've been looking for access to doctor-trusted treatments like Viagra, Cialis, and their more affordable generic counterparts, you and your partner might like it. The Hims process is simple, 100% online, and treatments are shipped free to your door in discreet packaging if prescribed. What's not to like? To save big on weight loss, hair loss, and ED solutions, get started today at Hims.com. That's Hims.com.
We all hear the
1 minute.
IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
The Odyssey app lets you jump back to the moments you missed from WTIC News Talk 1080. Download the free Odyssey app, search WTIC News Talk 1080, and tap earlier today to get started.
It's time for What Had Happened Was. Brought to you by the Odyssey app. Download the Odyssey app today so you can find out what happened was. Not to be confused with that garbage Jamie Foxx Netflix special. What had happened was, what we are talking about, what we talked about today was Joe Biden leaving and, of course, giving this farewell address, which I thought was a complete joke. And what that was about, and sort of explaining the fact that we should be really celebrating his administration for the 4 years that it gave us. Even though it was rough for a lot of us and a lot of things happened that ticked us off and got us angry, it doesn't matter. It got us to the place that we are now. We needed that darkness to get to the light. And even for the people who did support him and did not support Donald Trump, even they know that right now it is a better day. It's a better world. It's the reason why no one's reacting. It's the reason why there has been a very slow or small amount of people who are protesting and responding in a negative way. The protest, if you will. We should have seen people screaming and hollering in the street like we did in 2016, but we didn't see any of that. We did see some very horrible things in New Orleans and, of course, in Las Vegas. But even those things really didn't appear to be associated with the election in that way. So, we could look at this administration in a lot of ways, but I chose to see the positive. Especially for me as a talk show host, I have to admit it was, at least for me, I think it was very productive. It got me to meet all of you. And you know what? We lost some friends along the way, We lost some regulars, due in part by them being so angry and so ticked off that they blew up their own existence here at WTIC. You may know some of them. That they were just so vitriolic and just so angry that, they wore out their welcome, if not all but blew it up. Some of them can't even call back because of the embarrassment and the shame. It's sad that those relationships had to end. Annie Dunleavy destroyed her entire career because she was so upset about the turn of the election. She actually destroyed her teaching career. And she was a teacher for special ed students. Those kids don't have their favorite teacher, Annie Dunleavy, anymore. We lost a lot of people jumping out of a window, if you will, over their political beliefs. It's sad. What did we learn from that? What did we gain from that? Nothing. Well, we gained fodder and humor, but they gained nothing. They lost everything. So, there's a lot of things that we can reflect on. We can. So that's what happened was. We got plenty of other stuff to get to. Craig says, good. I said that it were some good things that we can think about. Now we need to get back to business. We leave all that behind us. Bye, Joe. Bye, Corinne. Bye, Jill. Dr. Jill. Whatever it is. Bye-bye. Holla, holla, pop your collar. Let's get another check of our traffic with Mark Christopher, the BPS Traffic Center. How are we doing out there, Mark?
We're doing pretty well, Reese. Right now, if you're heading into Hartford, westbound side of 84, a little tap of the brakes, Bulkley Bridge up to 47. Sigourney 84 eastbound, slowing about a half mile before 46 Sisson Avenue into the tunnel. 91 southbound's a little tight at 32 A and B. And again, you'll see some slow traffic, 22 down to 21, some sluggish traffic heading down into Cromwell. Northbound 91, easy ride Cromwell up into Windsor. 291, 384, OK, 2 eastbound, moving well Glastonbury into Marlboro. Quiet Middletown. If you're heading 84 westbound in Waterbury, some slow traffic 22 into the Mixmaster. Southbound Parkway delays approaching 62 down to 60 in Hamden. 95 southbound New Haven slows 46 down to exit 44. Traffic and weather together on the 8th. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
A few snow showers and flurries moving through this evening, otherwise becoming clear. The low down to 22 tonight. Sunny to partly cloudy, not as cold for Friday, the high 41. Partly cloudy, cold on Friday night, though, the low down to 26. Saturday, cloudy, breezy, a bit of snow and rain at times in the afternoon. Little or no accumulation, but a damp, raw, and chilly feeling day, the high 44. Saturday night, a little snow and rain early in the evening. Otherwise, the low down to 28. Then some sun early Sunday, turning cloudy. Snow Sunday night, 3 to 6 inches. So expect slick travel into early on Monday as we head through the day Sunday. The high of 38, though. Currently, it is 27 in Mansfield, 28 in Bristol, 28 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
If better health, more energy, and detoxing your body are some of your priorities this year, get Active Liver today and start the year off knowing you're giving your liver some well-deserved relief.
You can find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS or online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com.
I wish I'd gotten treated for my erectile dysfunction sooner. Men, I hear this all the time from our patients. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, and if ED is a problem in your life, resolve to get it treated today and stop having it affect you and the one you love. ED is simply a medical condition. It's fully treatable. And at Northeast Men's Health, we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means if you're like most guys, your ED will be a thing of the past. In fact, you could be having great sex within a day or two of your first appointment, and you'll also likely find you're performing like you haven't in a long time. It's the new year. Resolve to get your ED treated and change your life. Call us at Northeast Men's Health. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956 or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 5 offices: Salem, New Hampshire, Dedham, Marlboro, Woburn, Farmington, Connecticut. Northeast Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
1 minute.
Miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you
that was
receive
like
an
all up in my
unsolicited
ear.
phone call or mail piece,
My bad.
selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it.
If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options.
And 10. Call for your free info kit. 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is.
You know who it is.
You know who it is. It's Reese on the radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
Oh, man, it is a pleasure to be here every week, and I know we're getting close and close to the end of the week, but you know what? I'm not going to fret on it, okay? Don't forget tomorrow.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it.
If you can't call in live, just give us a call at 202-735-1288. Again, 202-735-1288. Air your grievance there. We'll grab them and we'll play them during the show tomorrow. If you can't call in live, we'll get them there. I've already got a couple in there. I'm ready to go. So we'll have that ready for you as well. So stick around for that. Let's get to the phones now. Lori's in Glastonbury. How are we doing, Lori? Haven't talked in a while.
Hi, Reese. How you doing?
I'm okay. What's up?
I do want to say something nice about Corinne Jean-Pierre.
Okay.
She did a wonderful job at avoiding answering questions. She did a phenomenal job. She was the Wonder Woman of deflecting answers. Trying to provide answers for questions.
She was putting up those. She was putting up those bullet-resisting cufflinks or bracelets that Wonder Woman wears.
Yeah, it was kind of impressive.
It was
impressive.
I mean, I don't think that much of the press really laid a glove on her, with the exception of Peter Ducey. But she, I'll admit, she was the deflector in chief, and she was better than Jen Psaki in a lot of those ways.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that crazy? Who would have thunk?
So you're happy about her? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but I also do thank Joe for uniting us all. I do think the Democratic Party as a whole during these confirmation hearings for affirming America's choice that we did the right thing.
Yeah, I think that. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
It just the whole. I want to thank the whole Democratic Party for just overplaying their hand.
I think what a huge part of that was, Lori, what really drove them over the end was, and Bill Maher even mentioned this, was they kept having to defend the defenseless, and then after the country rejected it, they have been hogtied to it. So think about it, right? You have all of this crazy stuff going on. They defended it to the hood, say, no, we think it's good. No, we think it's right. No, we think it's pure. No, we think it's grassroots. It's genuine. It really, really is a groundswell of people who believe in this. Then the country rejects it, and they can't, you can't change horses midstream. These people now can't turn around and go, yeah, we really didn't believe in that. Now they're hogtied to it. So in doing that, in hogtying themselves to it, everything that comes out of their mouth appears silly to the people who have rejected them and walked away from them. And they're desperate now, sort of begging people, it's like, please don't reject us. We really care about you. And they go, no, we did that a long time with you guys, and we can't do it anymore. And it's over.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly right. That's exactly right.
Another part about it, Lori, and I would say this, do you remember the analogy I said about the abused wife or the abused girlfriend? Do you remember that?
Yes,
That's where we are now. Finally, I think that Democrats who left the Democrat Party and joined MAGA or pretty much voted for MAGA, I think what they did was put themselves in either a witness protection plan, a witness protection program, or they put themselves in an abused wife or abused woman shelter. and they refuse to give up their address or information to the Democratic Party, and they don't want to be found. And I think that's where they are.
Yeah,
right
no, and I don't blame them. I don't blame them because it's everything is just so ludicrous.
Yeah, it's that bad. So I think we're okay. I think we're okay, at least for a little while. All we have to do is screw it up.
Well, and God forbid, please, God forbid, but just promise me that you're not going to break out and it's so hard to say goodbye by Boys to Men at the end of this. You know
I
what
never
mean?
play that song. It's one of my least favorite songs. So
Thank you, Jesus.
I
Okay,
will tell
I
you.
knew we were friends for a reason. We're
Okay,
good. We're
but
good.
Lori,
We're good.
Lori, there is a song that I play every time an administration leaves. I promise you, you're going to love it. But I'll give you a hint.
Dear.
I'll give you a hint. Okay? I'll give you a hint.
Okay.
It is a song from musical theater. That's all I'm going to say. And I'm playing it tomorrow. Don't even try to figure it out. Don't. You won't know it. You won't know it. If you guess it, I'd be stunned, but I wouldn't tell you anyway. All right?
Fair enough.
You got it. Thanks, Lori. Rob, is in Meriden. How we doing, Rob?
Oh, I'm doing good. Just got you off a speaker. Thanks for picking up the call. Yeah, I had a relating to something you were saying about doctors and stuff.
Yeah.
Being certain, ethnic, Jewish.
Yeah,
Turkish,
ethnic.
or-
Right.
Yeah. But in the Family Feud years ago, when the guy Lee Harvey or something.
Oh, you're talking about Steve Hardly Funny.
Yeah. He was on there was an episode, you could actually see it, and he said, what do most people, the 5 best things that airplane passengers want their pilot to be?
Ooh.
And someone says they want them to be well rested, and they want them to be, no.
So it's like top 5
violation.
answers on the board. What do most people want their airline pilot to be?
And guess what one of them was?
Please say
Even
white.
A female said, no, they said male.
Male. Wow.
They want the airplane pilot to be male.
That's interesting.
And Steve Harvey's like, hey, they didn't ask me.
Yeah. But you know what? Look, people.
But it's just interesting perspective.
Exactly.
And here's another question, if you don't mind me
Sure.
asking. Yeah, I lived near a school where there's a lot of, private school, and they have a lot of, Chinese kids or Oriental. And if you were to take these, say, 17-year-old kids from, say, China or Korea or even India, and you compare them with the SAT scores with American kids the same age, who, honestly, do you think will have a better score?
Asian kids, bar none.
Okay, so are you racist?
No, I know I'm not.
Are you realistic?
Absolutely. I believe that their culture.
How do you explain that?
I can explain it by simply this. I know that the culture within those countries, even when they're
they
here
strive.
in the
They push it. They push
in their culture, whether it's here or in their homeland, they will definitely strive for their kids to be educated. You talk. I know what do you call it? Indian.
Are those kids medicated too?
No. Of course not. They're not medicated. But again,
bingo.
They're the
There
biggest.
we go.
Rob, the biggest problem or the biggest sort of issue with that is that they come from a culture where they are, disappointing their parents and not getting an education or becoming a doctor or a lawyer or following the family business. They would be excommunicated, disowned. The level of which they respect their family lore is immeasurable.
The money families devote.
Yeah.
The money the families devote to that child.
Yeah, exactly. I watch them and I hear them. I told them I knew this in junior high school. Wei Mong Chung. We used to call him Raymond. That was what the American name that he chose.
Or Chappie Chang. I call Chappie Chang.
He told me. He said he had to give good grades because if you don't, no matter where they lived, they were all going to be ostracized in their community, their Asian community. You couldn't get. No one would be your friend.
So we slipped away somehow, and here these people are moving into our society, but they're going to be our doctors.
And
they already are.
When we started poking fun at our brilliant by calling them nerds and squares, that's when we got away from educating our kids.
Yeah, even plumbers or electricians too. The Orientals don't go to that trade. They go to the
Not when
the
they.
more
Why would they
skilled.
when they excel elsewhere? But again,
Exactly.
I just say, look, if kids would pay more attention to the things that they can do as opposed to what these statisticians or these educators want them to do, then the world would be a better place. I would say please stop forcing black kids to be mathematicians or engineers if indeed they know they would rather or probably would be more suitable working in HVAC or working in a refrigeration or whatever the case may be.
Well, I have one more question, if you don't mind me asking.
Real quick.
Okay, have you ever been to a gas station or many gas stations?
Worked in one.
Where the guy is Chinese collecting your money?
I've never been to a gas station where a Chinese guy owned it. Never.
Exactly.
Okay, I think that was your point.
Yes. Keep up the good work.
Thank you, Rob. I appreciate you. Marie is in Burlington. How we doing, Marie?
Hey, I just have a song to sing to you.
What you got?
Memories of alone in the moonlight.
That actually is pretty good to see. Damn, Rama's already figured it out, the song, because Rama knows this show. Rama knows there's only one song that I play when administrations leave, but you'll absolutely, at least you're in the musical theater mood, because this is it's my favorite song to play when administrations are about to get out of here. But you're right, Memories is going to be a great. I'm going to blend that one into our goodbye tomorrow, if you don't mind. And
I'm not it. Will you like my voice?
No, well, actually, if I can, if you're giving me permission to, I was going to play the song.
I will give you so much permission to do that because I have a terrible voice.
So do I, but I pretend it's a great voice. I try to do my Bing Crosby impersonation.
Oh, I know it. Absolutely. Mine too. You have all my permission to do it. So that's not the song?
Yeah. No, it's not the song, but it's a good song. But that's not the song. You'll know it when you hear it. You'll say to yourself, oh, yeah, that makes sense. This one's good because, trust me, it has a lot of Biden-esque to the song. But when you hear it, the theme behind the musical theater, the musical production, you'll know, oh, yeah, it totally makes sense. You'll get it. I promise.
All right. I got it.
All right.
What time are you doing it?
I'm doing it at the end of the show right about this time.
All right, cool. I will still listen. Thank you.
Thank you, Marie. Much appreciated. Craig is my last but not least in the car. What's going on, sir?
Hey, goodbye.
I know that everybody wants. That's kind of an easy one, but I like that one too. I do like that one. So Craig, can you really come up with one good thing that you can say about the administration? Anybody in it, John Kirby, Lloyd Austin, anybody that you can say a nice thing about?
The only thing I can say is what I said in the chat room. 4 years of Biden was better than 8 years of Hillary.
I didn't even see that. You put that in the chat room. I missed that. That is absolutely true.
Yes, sir.
That is absolutely true. I think that's the best way to capture these 4 years. Because, yeah, if Hillary would have won, yeah, they would have finagled their way into 8 years.
Yeah, they would have. And they'd probably have 4 or 8 more after it.
Yeah. We probably wouldn't get a Trump if Hillary had won.
I doubt it. I mean, politics is a rubber band. It goes back and forth. And Biden pulled it so far one way. Now it's a slingshot.
Yeah, indeed.
Watch what happens in the next 4 years, pal.
I'm with you, Craig. I'm with you. I'm watching every day with bated breath, man. Monday can't come sooner, but it's gonna be great because my objective is to make it as entertaining as possible. There's gonna be so many sound bites and so many things to talk about. It's gonna be a whirlwind of laughter. That's all I can expect.
I want my jujitsu pals to put me out for the next 3 days so I can wake up Monday morning.
A long winter's nap until Monday. I couldn't agree with you more.
Yes, sir. Ciao, pal.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you. Craig, in the car, my last but not least, We got a lot of stuff coming up. So Friday, again, don't forget tomorrow, airing of grievance Friday. If you've got a grievance that you can't call in live, just call 202-735-1288. Again, 202-735-1288. Looking forward to Tulsi's committee hearing as well. I'm definitely down for that, Rama. We'll get that in. Also on Monday, we're an hour early for Inauguration Day. Reese on the radio's on from 2 till 6. So I'll be spending the weekend getting a whole bunch of stuff ready during the day. In fact, that day I'm going to be getting so much audio sound bites and stuff just to get some interesting stuff. I don't want to play the sound bites you're probably going to hear throughout the day. Nothing against, Brian and Tom. They're going to be doing their own thing. But I don't want to regurgitate what they've already sort of given you. And I know there's some people here who listen throughout the day. So I don't want to give you the same old stuff because, sometimes people get bored of that. And I don't want to bore you. So I promise you I'm going to make it interesting and I'm going to make it worth your while no matter what. We've got some funny stuff that we're going to pay attention to as well. I hear the Village people are going to be there. And I want to see Bear shake his tail feather at the inauguration. Hey, girl, what's going on? No, Michelle couldn't be here. No, she's, there's trouble in paradise. That's okay. I'm here. I'm Bear. Having more fun. Let's get to the BPS Traffic Center with Mark Christopher. Good night, Mark.
Hey, Reese, have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow if you're heading into downtown Hartford.
All right, good sir.
Mind or slow down.
Oh, good old Bear.
As you head into the
All right,
tunnel.
we'll
Western
see you
84 is a good
tomorrow.
ride, Vernon out in Farmington.
Okay, phones are back on, so we're good to go.
Cromwell, up in
Yes, sir.
How do you like that intro, the way that we do it? Just doing the thing with the...
No, right now, that's just for right now. We got something coming, so...
Oh, we got another...
Don't worry. Just go with the flow right now.
Okay,
it's coming soon.
All right, good enough. All right, I appreciate you. All right, I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
All right, bye. All right, everybody. MRO claims that she abhors Donald J. Trump. Michelle Obama. Yeah, and she won't attend. Yeah, Lori, she says that I'm not phony. At least her people are saying she's not phony and she's not going to be two-faced. That's all right. Nobody wants her there. Nobody wants her there. Ain't nobody sitting around going, ooh, I wonder what Michelle's doing. Like, was she going to have a special? Is she going to be like in living color during the Super Bowl? She got her own halftime show? Nobody cares what Michelle is doing. It's kind of laughable. All right, guys, I'll see y'all tomorrow. I love you. Be good to each other.